1-0 loss as Johan Santana struck out 17 Rangers. Rumor had it that veteran David Wells was spotted in the Mariners team hotel yesterday, but it turned out to be Wells' mirror image reliever Rick White. Called up from AAA Tacoma, the 38-year-old White will soon play for his 11th different team, leaving him one shy of Mike Morgan on the all-time list. White replaces reliever John Parrish on the staff. Catcher Adam Melius was sent down to AAA Oklahoma yesterday. Melius was hitting .219 for the big club and hadn't seen much action as the backup catcher. Texas replaced him with reliever Scott Feldman. It's the Mariners and the Rangers. Felix Hernandez matches up against Kevin Millwood. Game time set for 7:35 p.m. in Texas. You can see it live on MLB.tv, beginning at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. The wild card leading Seattle Mariners take on the Texas Rangers in the second of 3 in Arlington. Felix Hernandez climbs the hill for Seattle and Kevin Millwood counters for the Rangers. Game time set for 7:35 p.m. at the Rangers ballpark. Seattle scored 7 runs in the 6th inning to lock up a 9-4 win over Texas last night. Jose Guillen hit a solo shot in the 6th, then another Jose joined the party.
Jose Vidro jumps on the first offering from Mike Wood, and there it goes towards right field. It's going to go. Mike Wood throws one pitch, and 2 runs come in.
Ichiro went 3 for 5 with a trio of RBIs to up his batting average to .352. That puts him second in the AL. Jeff Weaver won his 4th straight start in August to improve his record to 6-10. Brad Wilkerson's 18th homer of the year in the 3rd inning led the Rangers offense, but the club fell short on runs and perhaps on energy as well after scoring 39 runs in a doubleheader on Wednesday and not getting home until 4 a.m. Starter Cameron Lowe allowed 7 runs in 5+ innings, dropping his record to 6-10. Felix Hernandez takes the ball for the Mariners, and in his last outing, he knocked off the White Sox 11-5 on Sunday. He allowed 4 earned runs in 6+ innings for his 9th win of the year. The 21-year-old Venezuelan is 3-0 in his last 5 starts. Kevin Millwood goes for his 3rd consecutive quality start tonight for the Rangers. In his last game, Millwood was brilliant in allowing just 1 run in 7 innings against the Twins. But he took home a tough luck 1-0 loss as Johan Santana struck out 17 Rangers. Rumor had it that veteran David Wells was spotted in the Mariners team hotel yesterday, but it turned out to be Wells' mirror image reliever Rick White. Called up from AAA Tacoma, the 38-year-old White will soon play for his 11th different team, leaving him one shy of Mike Morgan on the all-time list. White replaces reliever John Parrish on the staff. Catcher Adam Melius was sent down to AAA Oklahoma yesterday. Melius was hitting .219 for the big club and hadn't seen much action as the backup catcher. Texas replaced him with reliever Scott Feldman. It's the Mariners and the Rangers. Felix Hernandez matches up against Kevin Millwood. Game time set for 7:35 p.m. in Texas. You can see it live on MLB.tv, beginning at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. The wild card leading Seattle Mariners take on the Texas Rangers in the second of 3 in Arlington. Felix Hernandez climbs the hill for Seattle and Kevin Millwood counters for the Rangers. Game time set for 7:35 p.m. at the Rangers ballpark. Seattle scored 7 runs in the 6th inning to lock up a 9-4 win over Texas last night. Jose Guillen hit a solo shot in the 6th, then another Jose joined the party.
Jose Vidro jumps on the first offering from Mike Wood, and there it goes towards right field. It's going to go. Mike Wood throws one pitch, and 2 runs come in.
Ichiro went 3 for 5 with a trio of RBIs to up his batting average to .352. That puts him second in the AL. Jeff Weaver won his 4th straight start in August to improve his record to 6-10. Brad Wilkerson's 18th homer of the year in the 3rd inning led the Rangers offense, but the club fell short on runs and perhaps on energy as well after scoring 39 runs in a doubleheader on Wednesday and not getting home until 4 a.m. Starter Cameron Lowe allowed 7 runs in 5+ innings, dropping his record to 6-10. Felix Hernandez takes the ball for the Mariners, and in his last outing, he knocked off the White Sox 11-5 on Sunday. He allowed 4 earned runs in 6+ innings for his 9th win of the year. The 21-year-old Venezuelan is 3-0 in his last 5 starts. Kevin Millwood goes for his 3rd consecutive quality start tonight for the Rangers. In his last game, Millwood was brilliant in allowing just 1 run in 7 innings against the Twins. but he took home a tough luck 1-0 loss as Johan Santana struck out 17 Rangers. Rumor had it that veteran David Wells was spotted in the Mariners team hotel yesterday, but it turned out to be Wells' mirror image reliever Rick White. Called up from AAA Tacoma, the 38-year-old White will soon play for his 11th different team, leaving him one shy of Mike Morgan on the all-time list. White replaces reliever John Parrish on the staff. Catcher Adam Melius was sent down to AAA Oklahoma yesterday. Melius was hitting .219 for the big club and hadn't seen much action as the backup catcher. Texas replaced him with reliever Scott Feldman. It's the Mariners and the Rangers. Felix Hernandez matches up against Kevin Millwood. Game time set for 7:35 p.m. in Texas. You can see it live on MLB.tv, beginning at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. The wild card leading Seattle Mariners take on the Texas Rangers in the second of 3 in Arlington. Felix Hernandez climbs the hill for Seattle and Kevin Millwood counters for the Rangers. Game time set for 7:35 p.m. at the Rangers ballpark. Seattle scored 7 runs in the 6th inning to lock up a 9-4 win over Texas last night. Jose Guillen hit a solo shot in the 6th, then another Jose joined the party.
Jose Vidro jumps on the first offering from Mike Wood, and there it goes towards right field. It's going to go. Mike Wood throws one pitch, and 2 runs come in.
Ichiro went 3 for 5 with a trio of RBIs to up his batting average to .352. That puts him second in the AL. Jeff Weaver won his 4th straight start in August to improve his record to 6-10. Brad Wilkerson's 18th homer of the year in the 3rd inning led the Rangers offense, but the club fell short on runs and perhaps on energy as well after scoring 39 runs in a doubleheader on Wednesday and not getting home until 4 a.m. Starter Cameron Lowe allowed 7 runs in 5+ innings, dropping his record to 6-10. Felix Hernandez takes the ball for the Mariners, and in his last outing, he knocked off the White Sox 11-5 on Sunday. He allowed 4 earned runs in 6+ innings for his 9th win of the year. The 21-year-old Venezuelan is 3-0 in his last 5 starts. Kevin Millwood goes for his 3rd consecutive quality start tonight for the Rangers. In his last game, Millwood was brilliant in allowing just 1 run in 7 innings against the Twins. But he took home a tough luck 1-0 loss as Johan Santana struck out 17 Rangers. Rumor had it that veteran David Wells was spotted in the Mariners team hotel yesterday, but it turned out to be Wells' mirror image reliever Rick White. Called up from AAA Tacoma, the 38-year-old White will soon play for his 11th different team, leaving him one shy of Mike Morgan on the all-time list. White replaces reliever John Parrish on the staff. Catcher Adam Melius was sent down to AAA Oklahoma yesterday. Melius was hitting .219 for the big club and hadn't seen much action as the backup catcher. Texas replaced him with reliever Scott Feldman. It's the Mariners and the Rangers. Felix Hernandez matches up against Kevin Millwood. Game time set for 7:35 p.m. in Texas. You can see it live on MLB.tv, beginning at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. The wild card leading Seattle Mariners take on the Texas Rangers in the second of 3 in Arlington. Felix Hernandez climbs the hill for Seattle and Kevin Millwood counters for the Rangers. Game time set for 7:35 p.m. at the Rangers ballpark. Seattle scored 7 runs in the 6th inning to lock up a 9-4 win over Texas last night. Jose Guillen hit a solo shot in the 6th, then another Jose joined the party.
Jose Vidro jumps on the first offering from Mike Wood, and there it goes towards right field. It's going to go. Mike Wood throws one pitch, and 2 runs come in.
Ichiro went 3 for 5 with a trio of RBIs to up his batting average to .352. That puts him second in the AL. Jeff Weaver won his 4th straight start in August to improve his record to 6-10. Brad Wilkerson's 18th homer of the year in the 3rd inning led the Rangers offense, but the club fell short on runs and perhaps on energy as well after scoring 39 runs in a doubleheader on Wednesday and not getting home until 4 a.m. Starter Cameron Lowe allowed 7 runs in 5+ innings, dropping his record to 6-10. Felix Hernandez takes the ball for the Mariners, and in his last outing, he knocked off the White Sox 11-5 on Sunday. He allowed 4 earned runs in 6+ innings for his 9th win of the year. The 21-year-old Venezuelan is 3-0 in his last 5 starts. Kevin Millwood goes for his 3rd consecutive quality start tonight for the Rangers. In his last game, Millwood was brilliant in allowing just 1 run in 7 innings against the Twins. but he took home a tough luck 1-0 loss as Johan Santana struck out 17 Rangers. Rumor had it that veteran David Wells was spotted in the Mariners team hotel yesterday, but it turned out to be Wells' mirror image reliever Rick White. Called up from AAA Tacoma, the 38-year-old White will soon play for his 11th different team, leaving him one shy of Mike Morgan on the all-time list. White replaces reliever John Parrish on the staff. Catcher Adam Melius was sent down to AAA Oklahoma yesterday. Melius was hitting .219 for the big club and hadn't seen much action as the backup catcher. Texas replaced him with reliever Scott Feldman. It's the Mariners and the Rangers. Felix Hernandez matches up against Kevin Millwood. Game time set for 7:35 p.m. in Texas. You can see it live on MLB.tv, beginning at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. The wild card leading Seattle Mariners take on the Texas Rangers in the second of 3 in Arlington. Felix Hernandez climbs the hill for Seattle and Kevin Millwood counters for the Rangers. Game time set for 7:35 p.m. at the Rangers ballpark. Seattle scored 7 runs in the 6th inning to lock up a 9-4 win over Texas last night. Jose Guillen hit a solo shot in the 6th, then another Jose joined the party.
Jose Vidro jumps on the first offering from Mike Wood, and there it goes towards right field. It's going to go. Mike Wood throws one pitch, and 2 runs come in.
Ichiro went 3 for 5 with a trio of RBIs to up his batting average to .352. That puts him second in the AL. Jeff Weaver won his 4th straight start in August to improve his record to 6-10. Brad Wilkerson's 18th homer of the year in the 3rd inning led the Rangers offense, but the club fell short on runs and perhaps on energy as well after scoring 39 runs in a doubleheader on Wednesday and not getting home until 4 a.m. Starter Cameron Lowe allowed 7 runs in 5+ innings, dropping his record to 6-10. Felix Hernandez takes the ball for the Mariners, and in his last outing, he knocked off the White Sox 11-5 on Sunday. He allowed 4 earned runs in 6+ innings for his 9th win of the year. The 21-year-old Venezuelan is 3-0 in his last 5 starts. Kevin Millwood goes for his 3rd consecutive quality start tonight for the Rangers. In his last game, Millwood was brilliant in allowing just 1 run in 7 innings against the Twins. But he took home a tough luck 1-0 loss as Johan Santana struck out 17 Rangers. Rumor had it that veteran David Wells was spotted in the Mariners team hotel yesterday, but it turned out to be Wells' mirror image reliever Rick White. Called up from AAA Tacoma, the 38-year-old White will soon play for his 11th different team, leaving him one shy of Mike Morgan on the all-time list. White replaces reliever John Parrish on the staff. Catcher Adam Melius was sent down to AAA Oklahoma yesterday. Melius was hitting .219 for the big club and hadn't seen much action as the backup catcher. Texas replaced him with reliever Scott Feldman. It's the Mariners and the Rangers. Felix Hernandez matches up against Kevin Millwood. Game time set for 7:35 p.m. in Texas. You can see it live on MLB.tv, beginning at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. The wild card leading Seattle Mariners take on the Texas Rangers in the second of 3 in Arlington. Felix Hernandez climbs the hill for Seattle and Kevin Millwood counters for the Rangers. Game time set for 7:35 p.m. at the Rangers ballpark. Seattle scored 7 runs in the 6th inning to lock up a 9-4 win over Texas last night. Jose Guillen hit a solo shot in the 6th, then another Jose joined the party.
Jose Vidro jumps on the first offering from Mike Wood, and there it goes towards right field. It's going to go. Mike Wood throws one pitch, and 2 runs come in.
Ichiro went 3 for 5 with a trio of RBIs to up his batting average to .352. That puts him second in the AL. Jeff Weaver won his 4th straight start in August to improve his record to 6-10. Brad Wilkerson's 18th homer of the year in the 3rd inning led the Rangers offense, but the club fell short on runs and perhaps on energy as well after scoring 39 runs in a doubleheader on Wednesday and not getting home until 4 a.m. Starter Cameron Lowe allowed 7 runs in 5+ innings, dropping his record to 6-10. Felix Hernandez takes the ball for the Mariners, and in his last outing, he knocked off the White Sox 11-5 on Sunday. He allowed 4 earned runs in 6+ innings for his 9th win of the year. The 21-year-old Venezuelan is 3-0 in his last 5 starts. Kevin Millwood goes for his 3rd consecutive quality start tonight for the Rangers. In his last game, Millwood was brilliant in allowing just 1 run in 7 innings against the Twins. but he took home a tough luck 1-0 loss as Johan Santana struck out 17 Rangers. Rumor had it that veteran David Wells was spotted in the Mariners team hotel yesterday, but it turned out to be Wells' mirror image reliever Rick White. Called up from AAA Tacoma, the 38-year-old White will soon play for his 11th different team, leaving him one shy of Mike Morgan on the all-time list. White replaces reliever John Parrish on the staff. Catcher Adam Melius was sent down to AAA Oklahoma yesterday. Melius was hitting .219 for the big club and hadn't seen much action as the backup catcher. Texas replaced him with reliever Scott Feldman. It's the Mariners and the Rangers. Felix Hernandez matches up against Kevin Millwood. Game time set for 7:35 p.m. in Texas. You can see it live on MLB.tv, beginning at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. The wild card leading Seattle Mariners take on the Texas Rangers in the second of 3 in Arlington. Felix Hernandez climbs the hill for Seattle and Kevin Millwood counters for the Rangers. Game time set for 7:35 p.m. at the Rangers ballpark. Seattle scored 7 runs in the 6th inning to lock up a 9-4 win over Texas last night. Jose Guillen hit a solo shot in the 6th, then another Jose joined the party.
Jose Vidro jumps on the first offering from Mike Wood, and there it goes towards right field. It's going to go. Mike Wood throws one pitch, and 2 runs come in.
Ichiro went 3 for 5 with a trio of RBIs to up his batting average to .352. That puts him second in the AL. Jeff Weaver won his 4th straight start in August to improve his record to 6-10. Brad Wilkerson's 18th homer of the year in the 3rd inning led the Rangers offense, but the club fell short on runs and perhaps on energy as well after scoring 39 runs in a doubleheader on Wednesday and not getting home until 4 a.m. Starter Cameron Lowe allowed 7 runs in 5+ innings, dropping his record to 6-10. Felix Hernandez takes the ball for the Mariners, and in his last outing, he knocked off the White Sox 11-5 on Sunday. He allowed 4 earned runs in 6+ innings for his 9th win of the year. The 21-year-old Venezuelan is 3-0 in his last 5 starts. Kevin Millwood goes for his 3rd consecutive quality start tonight for the Rangers. In his last game, Millwood was brilliant in allowing just 1 run in 7 innings against the Twins. But he took home a tough luck 1-0 loss as Johan Santana struck out 17 Rangers. Rumor had it that veteran David Wells was spotted in the Mariners team hotel yesterday, but it turned out to be Wells' mirror image reliever Rick White. Called up from AAA Tacoma, the 38-year-old White will soon play for his 11th different team, leaving him one shy of Mike Morgan on the all-time list. White replaces reliever John Parrish on the staff. Catcher Adam Melius was sent down to AAA Oklahoma yesterday. Melius was hitting .219 for the big club and hadn't seen much action as the backup catcher. Texas replaced him with reliever Scott Feldman. It's the Mariners and the Rangers. Felix Hernandez matches up against Kevin Millwood. Game time set for 7:35 p.m. in Texas. You can see it live on MLB.tv, beginning at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. The wild card leading Seattle Mariners take on the Texas Rangers in the second of 3 in Arlington. Felix Hernandez climbs the hill for Seattle and Kevin Millwood counters for the Rangers. Game time set for 7:35 p.m. at the Rangers ballpark. Seattle scored 7 runs in the 6th inning to lock up a 9-4 win over Texas last night. Jose Guillen hit a solo shot in the 6th, then another Jose joined the party.
Jose Vidro jumps on the first offering from Mike Wood, and there it goes towards right field. It's going to go. Mike Wood throws one pitch, and 2 runs come in.
Ichiro went 3 for 5 with a trio of RBIs to up his batting average to .352. That puts him second in the AL. Jeff Weaver won his 4th straight start in August to improve his record to 6-10. Brad Wilkerson's 18th homer of the year in the 3rd inning led the Rangers offense, but the club fell short on runs and perhaps on energy as well after scoring 39 runs in a doubleheader on Wednesday and not getting home until 4 a.m. Starter Cameron Lowe allowed 7 runs in 5+ innings, dropping his record to 6-10. Felix Hernandez takes the ball for the Mariners, and in his last outing, he knocked off the White Sox 11-5 on Sunday. He allowed 4 earned runs in 6+ innings for his 9th win of the year. The 21-year-old Venezuelan is 3-0 in his last 5 starts. Kevin Millwood goes for his 3rd consecutive quality start tonight for the Rangers. In his last game, Millwood was brilliant in allowing just 1 run in 7 innings against the Twins. but he took home a tough luck 1-0 loss as Johan Santana struck out 17 Rangers. Rumor had it that veteran David Wells was spotted in the Mariners team hotel yesterday, but it turned out to be Wells' mirror image reliever Rick White. Called up from AAA Tacoma, the 38-year-old White will soon play for his 11th different team, leaving him one shy of Mike Morgan on the all-time list. White replaces reliever John Parrish on the staff. Catcher Adam Melius was sent down to AAA Oklahoma yesterday. Melius was hitting .219 for the big club and hadn't seen much action as the backup catcher. Texas replaced him with reliever Scott Feldman. It's the Mariners and the Rangers. Felix Hernandez matches up against Kevin Millwood. Game time set for 7:35 p.m. in Texas. You can see it live on MLB.tv, beginning at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. The wild card leading Seattle Mariners take on the Texas Rangers in the second of 3 in Arlington. Felix Hernandez climbs the hill for Seattle and Kevin Millwood counters for the Rangers. Game time set for 7:35 p.m. at the Rangers ballpark. Seattle scored 7 runs in the 6th inning to lock up a 9-4 win over Texas last night. Jose Guillen hit a solo shot in the 6th, then another Jose joined the party.
Jose Vidro jumps on the first offering from Mike Wood, and there it goes towards right field. It's going to go. Mike Wood throws one pitch, and 2 runs come in.
Ichiro went 3 for 5 with a trio of RBIs to up his batting average to .352. That puts him second in the AL. Jeff Weaver won his 4th straight start in August to improve his record to 6-10. Brad Wilkerson's 18th homer of the year in the 3rd inning led the Rangers offense, but the club fell short on runs and perhaps on energy as well after scoring 39 runs in a doubleheader on Wednesday and not getting home until 4 a.m. Starter Cameron Lowe allowed 7 runs in 5+ innings, dropping his record to 6-10. Felix Hernandez takes the ball for the Mariners, and in his last outing, he knocked off the White Sox 11-5 on Sunday. He allowed 4 earned runs in 6+ innings for his 9th win of the year. The 21-year-old Venezuelan is 3-0 in his last 5 starts. Kevin Millwood goes for his 3rd consecutive quality start tonight for the Rangers. In his last game, Millwood was brilliant in allowing just 1 run in 7 innings against the Twins. But he took home a tough luck 1-0 loss as Johan Santana struck out 17 Rangers. Rumor had it that veteran David Wells was spotted in the Mariners team hotel yesterday, but it turned out to be Wells' mirror image reliever Rick White. Called up from AAA Tacoma, the 38-year-old White will soon play for his 11th different team, leaving him one shy of Mike Morgan on the all-time list. White replaces reliever John Parrish on the staff. Catcher Adam Melius was sent down to AAA Oklahoma yesterday. Melius was hitting .219 for the big club and hadn't seen much action as the backup catcher. Texas replaced him with reliever Scott Feldman. It's the Mariners and the Rangers. Felix Hernandez matches up against Kevin Millwood. Game time set for 7:35 p.m. in Texas. You can see it live on MLB.tv, beginning at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. The wild card leading Seattle Mariners take on the Texas Rangers in the second of 3 in Arlington. Felix Hernandez climbs the hill for Seattle and Kevin Millwood counters for the Rangers. Game time set for 7:35 p.m. at the Rangers ballpark. Seattle scored 7 runs in the 6th inning to lock up a 9-4 win over Texas last night. Jose Guillen hit a solo shot in the 6th, then another Jose joined the party.
Jose Vidro jumps on the first offering from Mike Wood, and there it goes towards right field. It's going to go. Mike Wood throws one pitch, and 2 runs come in.
Ichiro went 3 for 5 with a trio of RBIs to up his batting average to .352. That puts him second in the AL. Jeff Weaver won his 4th straight start in August to improve his record to 6-10. Brad Wilkerson's 18th homer of the year in the 3rd inning led the Rangers offense, but the club fell short on runs and perhaps on energy as well after scoring 39 runs in a doubleheader on Wednesday and not getting home until 4 a.m. Starter Cameron Lowe allowed 7 runs in 5+ innings, dropping his record to 6-10. Felix Hernandez takes the ball for the Mariners, and in his last outing, he knocked off the White Sox 11-5 on Sunday. He allowed 4 earned runs in 6+ innings for his 9th win of the year. The 21-year-old Venezuelan is 3-0 in his last 5 starts. Kevin Millwood goes for his 3rd consecutive quality start tonight for the Rangers. In his last game, Millwood was brilliant in allowing just 1 run in 7 innings against the Twins. but he took home a tough luck 1-0 loss as Johan Santana struck out 17 Rangers. Rumor had it that veteran David Wells was spotted in the Mariners team hotel yesterday, but it turned out to be Wells' mirror image reliever Rick White. Called up from AAA Tacoma, the 38-year-old White will soon play for his 11th different team, leaving him one shy of Mike Morgan on the all-time list. White replaces reliever John Parrish on the staff. Catcher Adam Melius was sent down to AAA Oklahoma yesterday. Melius was hitting .219 for the big club and hadn't seen much action as the backup catcher. Texas replaced him with reliever Scott Feldman. It's the Mariners and the Rangers. Felix Hernandez matches up against Kevin Millwood. Game time set for 7:35 p.m. in Texas. You can see it live on MLB.tv, beginning at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. The wild card leading Seattle Mariners take on the Texas Rangers in the second of 3 in Arlington. Felix Hernandez climbs the hill for Seattle and Kevin Millwood counters for the Rangers. Game time set for 7:35 p.m. at the Rangers ballpark. Seattle scored 7 runs in the 6th inning to lock up a 9-4 win over Texas last night. Jose Guillen hit a solo shot in the 6th, then another Jose joined the party.
Jose Vidro jumps on the first offering from Mike Wood, and there it goes towards right field. It's going to go. Mike Wood throws one pitch, and 2 runs come in.
Ichiro went 3 for 5 with a trio of RBIs to up his batting average to .352. That puts him second in the AL. Jeff Weaver won his 4th straight start in August to improve his record to 6-10. Brad Wilkerson's 18th homer of the year in the 3rd inning led the Rangers offense, but the club fell short on runs and perhaps on energy as well after scoring 39 runs in a doubleheader on Wednesday and not getting home until 4 a.m. Starter Cameron Lowe allowed 7 runs in 5+ innings, dropping his record to 6-10. Felix Hernandez takes the ball for the Mariners, and in his last outing, he knocked off the White Sox 11-5 on Sunday. He allowed 4 earned runs in 6+ innings for his 9th win of the year. The 21-year-old Venezuelan is 3-0 in his last 5 starts. Kevin Millwood goes for his 3rd consecutive quality start tonight for the Rangers. In his last game, Millwood was brilliant in allowing just 1 run in 7 innings against the Twins. But he took home a tough luck 1-0 loss as Johan Santana struck out 17 Rangers. Rumor had it that veteran David Wells was spotted in the Mariners team hotel yesterday, but it turned out to be Wells' mirror image reliever Rick White. Called up from AAA Tacoma, the 38-year-old White will soon play for his 11th different team, leaving him one shy of Mike Morgan on the all-time list. White replaces reliever John Parrish on the staff. Catcher Adam Melius was sent down to AAA Oklahoma yesterday. Melius was hitting .219 for the big club and hadn't seen much action as the backup catcher. Texas replaced him with reliever Scott Feldman. It's the Mariners and the Rangers. Felix Hernandez matches up.
Now, certainly he has done it to teams besides the Texas Rangers, but last night Ichiro decided, yeah, the Rangers look pretty good. I'm going to clear the bases with a double. And with that, Seattle hopscotched into the lead, never looked back. The Rangers, a 9-4 loser yesterday, trying to bounce back tonight. Game 2 of the series against Seattle. And we welcome you to Rangers Ballpark in Arlington, along with Tom Grieve. I'm Josh Lewin. You've got Kevin Millwood on the mound tonight. Seems like a pretty decent matchup. Seattle's a team that likes to swing the bat early in the count. Doesn't really let you get that deep in the counts. And Kevin Millwood may be the kind of pitcher that can exploit that.
Yeah, and the other thing going good for Kevin right now is the way he has been pitching. His last 2 starts have been really good starts. Unfortunately, he ran into Johan Santana in his last start in Minnesota and lost 1-0. But it's the 2nd straight start where Kevin went 7 innings and only gave up 1 run. 2 starts ago in Kansas City, he gave up 1 run and struck out 9. His last start, he only struck out 3, but pitched a solid game and hopefully a springboard for the rest of the season for him.
Something about having a matchup against another team's ace from Venezuela agrees with Kevin Millwood, apparently, because Felix Hernandez is on the mound for Seattle tonight, and King Felix having a pretty good year, too. Rangers and the Mariners are coming up next. to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Bold moves. Ford is the best in Texas. By Progressive for a money-saving car insurance quote. Call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. Also by Jack in the Box. We don't make it till you order it. And by Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the Rangers. Visit southwest.com. Coming at you in spectacular FSN high def tonight from Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. Thank you very much for making Ranger Baseball a part of your Friday night. Wait a minute, this is Friday, right?
Yes, it is.
All right. And happy birthday, Taylor. Who's Taylor?
I don't know, but that's a pretty fancy happy birthday card right there.
Let's see if we can find Taylor somewhere in the Southwest Airlines starting lineup. Bunch of Jose's in there, but I don't see a Taylor. You've got Ichiro, then Jose Vidro, Jose Guillen, Ibanez and Beltre, Sexton and Jojima, Jose Lopez, and Junieski Betancourt against Kevin Millwood tonight. Tom, you mentioned it. Millwood outdueled by Johan Santana last time, but as we check our Rico scouting report, he lowered that ERA down to 5.39.
Yeah, he's starting to zero in on the 5.00 level. Love to get beneath that. We mentioned that the last time he pitched. Since the All-Star break, much better. Got an ERA right around 4. This month's been even better than that. 7 innings in each of his last 2 starts. 4 starts in August finds him with an ERA right at 3. And Kevin always has been a guy that's a strong second-half pitcher. And even though the season is winding down, he still probably has 6 more starts maybe. He's coming off 2 really good starts and still has plenty of room to finish strong and end up salvaging a decent season.
2 quick strikes on Ichiro. And Tom, in the interest of full disclosure, turnabout is fair play. We made fun of the Mariners for wearing their batting practice tops last night. I guess we had to make fun of the home team tonight, because those are the BP tops.
Yep. I don't go for that for a big league uniform, but
wow,
that is one bad at bat for Ichiro.
Are you sure that's Ichiro?
Wow.
That was very un-Ichiro-like right there, but 3 pitches and goodbye. This last one just flat ate him up.
Well, it looked like he cut that, and it came in toward Ichiro, surprised him a little bit. Tried to check his swing, tried to stop his swing, probably hoped that he could get a little piece of it, maybe foul it off, but you generally do not see Ichiro with an at-bat like that.
A strike to Jose Vidro, who has actually batted against Millwood 75 times in his career. So there's not a lot of secrets, I wouldn't think, between Millwood and Vidro. Kevin, of course, used to pitch for the Braves and the Phillies. And Vidro played for the Expos/Nationals all those years. I think the biggest thing about Millwood is that third part of our Rico scouting report tonight, Tom. The fact that the last 2 outings he has given the Rangers innings. You expect your ace, your horse, to go out there and eat up innings for you. Ground ball by Vidro. Kinsler makes the play, 2 down. And the rest of the way defensively, the Rangers with Kinsler sparkling. Over the last 4 weeks, almost 5 weeks now, no errors. Young's with him up the middle. Metcalf and Wilkerson flank the double play combo. Catalanato, Bird, and Murphy out there in the outfield. Better focus, attention to detail, and it's certainly something you can quantify now with Ian Kinsler.
Now you can tell on a ground ball like the last one hit to him that the concentration is different. He watches the ball into his glove. He almost pauses for a split second to make sure he's got a handle on the ball, steps toward first, and makes the deliberate play. You can do that on a routine ball. Obviously, you can't do it on a quick play where you have to get the ball there quickly. But as we've said several times earlier in the year, it was the routine ball that was causing Ian some problems, and it was because he was a little careless. Sometimes tried to flip the ball from his glove to his hand, and he couldn't get a handle on it to throw it to first. But that's much different now. Really concentrating on the routine play.
Get you from Ian to Guillen, and Jose Guillen driving one deep to left, and it's going to go. He had a home run last night. And he pounds one out tonight. 2-0 count. You're asking for trouble. And Millwood, who was done in by a solo home run in his last start, the Michael Kadire home run. Well, now it is Guillen who makes it 1-0.
It looked like Kevin took a little bit off that pitch. His fastball is usually 90, 93-ish, right around in there. It looked like a changeup, maybe. It was 86 miles an hour. Guillen was able, whatever it was, Guillen was able to get the head of the bat on it, drive it out of the ballpark.
Guillen's up to 19 home runs now. Beltre's got 20. Sexton's got 21. Ibanez, and it kicks off of Millwood back to Saltalamacchia. Well, you got to hope Kevin Millwood's okay. He just seems to be a magnet for getting hit by line drives, doesn't he?
Ibanez is hitting a lot of line drives too. His last 17 games, he's hitting about 420. He's probably the hottest hitter in the league over the last 2.5 weeks. And not just base hits either. He's hit 9 home runs in his last 17 games to go along with all the base hits he's had.
This little tableau right here, this what you're looking at with Jamie Reed out there, Ron Washington, Mark Connor, and Kevin Millwood. It seems to happen at least once a game, and you always see Jamie Reed and or Kevin Millwood crack a smile at some point. I mean, I guess that's the good news, but you're just kind of concerned that there's going to be one of those line drives where nobody's smiling. Now, when Kevin warms up in the first inning, he requests the music "A Country Boy Can Survive."
It looked like it hit the inside of his left foot. Fortunately, it didn't hit his ankle. Otherwise, I don't think there would have been smiles. It looked like it hit the bottom of his left foot, maybe on the sole of his shoe, which cushioned a lot of the blow. He raised that ball about 3 or 4 inches, and it would have been a whole different ball game, though.
Beltre driving one into left field. Catalanato's got to go field it right on the warning track. He'll hustle it in. And it's going to be second and third. So it began, this inning did, with a strikeout and a ground out. Since then, it's been pretty noisy with Guillen, Ibanez, and Beltre just lining baseballs all over the place.
Yeah, these 3 balls have been hit hard. Kevin made Ichiro look bad. Got a little tapper to second base, but the last 3 guys have pretty much teed off on it. That fastball's on the inside part of the plate. Big swing by Beltre.
Well, as we said earlier, Tom, the MO for this Seattle team, kind of similar to the team they're chasing, the Angels. They don't go up there and take a lot of pitches. They don't work deep into the count that much.
I think there's times where that can hurt you, hurt your on base percentage. Right now, it's not hurting them because they're hitting about 340. 335 to 340 for this month. They've been one of the hottest teams in the league offensively this month.
Last year especially, it was evident their on base percentage was second to last in the league. They were dead last with only 400 walks all year last year, 50 of which were intentional. Lopez, Betancourt, Jojima joining Ichiro is among the walkless wonders in Seattle. Big Richie Sexton, who struck out 4 times in the game yesterday, but also delivered a hit. Saltalamacchia and Millwood just can't get together on what to throw here on 0-1.
I think some of the conferences are understandable when you've got a 22-year-old catcher catching pitchers for the first time, trying to get on the same page with them. It'll take Jared a while to get used to all the pitchers. That's not easy, especially for a young catcher who doesn't have much experience anyway. He's never caught until this year above the AA level. And didn't spend any time in AAA this year either. Went straight to the big leagues quickly to the Braves.
Millwood, of course, came up with the Braves himself. But by the time Saltalamacchia was in the organization, Millwood was already out with the Phillies and then on to Cleveland. switch hitting catchers. It's a valuable commodity. Sexton turned around, questioned the wisdom of Tim Cheetah right there. But indeed it is 1-2.
Thought that was low, but didn't look low on a tracker.
Slowly past the mound. Michael Young going to charge it and fire. And that's it for Richie Sexton and Seattle. However, a Jose Guillen home run has Seattle on top 1-0. To become the next big deal in pitching circles. Not having that bad a year. 3.94 ERA. And the Rangers, who have actually had good luck against Felix Hernandez in the past. Here's their Southwest Airlines batting order. Catalanato and Kinsler, Young and Bird. Wilkerson, who had the 4-for-4 night last night. And then you got Botts and Saltalamacchia. David Murphy and Travis Metcalf. And now a little bit more on the right-hander Felix Hernandez.
Check the Rico scouting report out for Hernandez. For a 21-year-old, he's having a solid season. He's 9-6 with an ERA under 4. A lot of strikeouts. 6+ innings in 10 straight starts. Has not pitched very well against the Rangers, especially in this ballpark. His ERA is over 9, his highest for any ballpark. He came into Major League Baseball with such high accolades that it's hard for him to live up to them. But you're right, Josh. You have to remember that this kid just turned 21 at the beginning of the season, and most kids his age have just been coming into pro baseball, having been drafted out of college in the last draft in June.
There's Catalanato singling against him. King Felix will not no-hit the Rangers tonight. Defensively, Ichiro playing center and has done it very well this year. He moved to center when they went out and got Jose Guillen to play right. Ichiro 3 hits, including the bases loaded double last night. Well, regarding King Felix, I think the thing with this guy is indeed, Tom, he came with that warning label, got to handle with care. Kinsler will move the runner here with swinging, not bunting, but that kind of works like a bunt. I think when you've got a guy with the kind of talent that Hernandez has, and he's turning 19, then turning 20. If you're the Mariners, you handle him like you'd handle plutonium. You watch the pitch count, you baby that arm so you can keep him in the rotation for 12 or 15 years.
Yeah, and if you look at April, it looked like they were kind of treading on some thin ice with him. His first start was against Oakland. He threw 110 pitches on the 3rd of April, 8 shutout innings. His next start was against the Red Sox. He threw a 9-inning complete game 1-hit shutout, threw 111 pitches, and then came out of the game and went on the disabled list in the first inning of his third start. So was that too much work? 110 pitches, then 111. Not an alarming amount of pitches. Maybe for the first 2 starts of the season in April, and maybe for a kid who was actually 20 years old in his first start and just turned 21 between those 2 starts. Maybe it was a little bit too much because he spent 3 weeks on the disabled list.
You know what I think is interesting, Tom? I mean, for the year now, Hernandez 7 times has thrown more than 110 pitches in a game. Millwood, who's supposed to be, you know, as we've said, kind of the horse, the ace of the staff, the veteran, he's only done it once. Millwood had a 115 pitch game against these Seattle Mariners. But it's not like that one went real well. He only lasted 5 1/3 innings. He walked 4, he allowed 8 hits. So, I mean, I guess the point is, if you had told me before the season who's more likely to have 110 pitches 7 times, Millwood or the guy they're handling with such care, Felix Hernandez, I sure would have said Millwood.
In the game against the Red Sox, it's tough to take a kid out of the game when he has a 1-hit shutout.
Right.
And he's somewhere around 100 pitches. But for whatever the reason, whether that was too many pitches, almost impossible to say, but after 2 starts, he did go on the disabled list. I think some people would say 110 pitches in 2 starts. First 2 starts early in April might be a few too many, because he's a lot different than a kid that's 27, 28, 29 years old. He's just as big and strong, and he's got great stuff, but most people feel in baseball that there's a hard slider, a great slider, that pitchers are more susceptible to arm injuries when they're before the age of 25. So Major League Baseball, that would be usually between the ages of 20 and 25. And he's right at the beginning stages of that little window. And so he is more susceptible to arm injuries right now. He isn't fully developed. As big and strong and as good as he is, still just a kid.
And fans doing the bird for Marlon Byrd, back in the lineup tonight after a night off last night. I think we talked about this the last time Hernandez pitched against the Rangers, Tom, but there's a prevailing thought these days that you max out your number of innings at 10 times your age. If you're 17, 170 innings would be your ceiling. At age 20, don't want to pitch more than 200 innings, but if you're doing it right by age 25, maybe then you can fire up 250 innings, but certainly not before then.
Yeah, you'd be hard pressed to find anyone throwing 250 innings now. You know, that may be a rough guideline, but I think you'll find a lot of people be scared to death for a 22-year-old and a 23-year-old to throw 220 and 230 innings. I think if anything, you'd like to keep kids under 200 innings to be cautious before they get to the age of 25.
Byrd, a grounder to third. And Beltre will whip it over there. We'll talk more about Felix Hernandez and how they're bringing him along as we go tonight. Seattle's got the 1-0 lead at the end of 1. Mariners on top. We go to the second inning here at the ballpark tonight, and we say hello to our good friend Jim Knox.
Thank you, Josh. A little Ranger cheerleader right here, cheering the Rangers on. And we're in the Fox Box, of course, the place to be. Just about a sellout crowd here tonight. $10 seats right here in the Fox Box for next Tuesday or Thursday night's games against those Chicago White Sox. So call 972 Rangers, 972 Rangers for your $10 seats. Happen to have a birthday party going on. What's this about? Who's the birthday boy?
The birthday boy is over here. This is my father. He's 67 years young today.
Let's see the birthday. You're at the birthday party. That's right. And what did you get so far?
I got a bag of peanuts.
Hey, that's a nice size there. That may last an inning or so. All right. And anything else?
Well, daughter gave me a decal for Pokemon Longhorn decal for my car.
Oh, that's good enough.
And then they let me come to the ball game.
All right. Well, good enough. Maybe we'll get you a Ranger win tonight. Okay. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Josh,
Jim, you're not singing. I thought you were going to go out there and actually sing "Happy Birthday." He's not taking the bait.
clear.
We're clear. There's a bunt foul by Jojima. It's 1-2. Cal Ripken's birthday today. And Cal, I don't know if you saw, Tom, is going to be going out on some Goodwill baseball tours. Not only across the country, but he's going to China. He's going to Australia, I believe. He's trying to spread the gospel of what the great game of baseball is all about.
Can't pick a better guy to do it. That's what he does now. Teach baseball and spread the baseball gospel. Ripken baseball is what it's all about.
Rangers just came from Cal's home of Baltimore, Maryland. An historic trip to Baltimore, as it turned out. And everybody still talking about the 30-3 game. Jojima nails one into the alley in right center field. That ball is all the way to the base of the wall. And the Seattle catcher working the count full. We had talked earlier about the Mariners not usually going that deep in accounts, but Jojima at 3-2 doubles to right center.
I wish you got the puck there now.
Yep.
To first base. That puts Jojima over 280. It's turned out to be a good sign for the Mariners. They signed former Japanese star to a free agent contract, and he's come in and caught every day for him, almost every day. Solid defensive guy. Not a middle of the order guy, but good solid guy to hit seventh for you. Probably knock in 65 or 70 runs this year. Hit 18 home runs.
Jabbing at the bunt is Lopez. No swing. I think Seattle's always had a solid catcher. Never really had a flat out all-star type catcher. I mean, they've had Steve Yeager, they've had Bob Kearney, they've had Dan Wilson. And now they've got Jojima, very solid. I don't know if they've ever had a guy where you'd say, yeah, he's one of the top 4 or 5 catchers in the league.
They traded one.
Who dat?
Jason Varitek.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, they didn't hang on to Varitek too long. What a trade that was. Derek Lowe and Jason Varitek for Heathcliff Slocum. Although that's one of those that at the time nobody was saying, oh my gosh, what a lopsided trade. Kind of worked out that way, but
And probably no one outside of baseball was, but people inside baseball knew who Derek Lowe was, knew who Jason Varitek was. They probably thought it was a good price to pay. The amazing part about that trade, what's come out after that trade, is when the trade was made, Dan Duquette thought he was trading Heathcliff Slocum for one of those two players.
Right, it was supposed to be an either or, right?
Yeah, it turned out in the course of the conversation, it dawned on him that he was being offered both of them. He was willing to make the trade for either one of them.
He was like Tom Hanks in that movie Big. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
I guess if you want to give me both of them, sure.
Betancourt taking down and outside. It's always fun to kind of go back, and there, you know, baseball is littered with lopsided trades. I'm sure it didn't really seem that lopsided at the time. When Ernie Broglio got traded for Lou Brock, a lot of people thought that actually it was a good deal the other way. Broglio was a proven winner. Lou Brock hadn't done anything yet. Bettencourt grounding out. The Reds trading and aging of Frank Robinson of the Orioles for Milt Pappas and Jack Balchin and Dick Simpson. They said Frank was an old 30 on his way out of Cincinnati and got to Baltimore, and for about what, 8 or 9 more years in Baltimore, he was unbelievable. Ichiro, who was made to look a little silly in that first at bat. Send one foul out of play. $12 for his last 24 to put that batting average at what is now .351. And suddenly, Tag, that's just a point away from Mags Ordonez to lead the league.
Well, Ichiro's been there before.
And here he goes again. Slaps it into left. 2-0 Seattle.
Just hate to see Ichiro come up, period. But with men in scoring position, I think he gets even better.
Now the numbers bear you out. Outstanding hitter no matter what. But you're right, he just kind of takes it up a notch. And there's somebody standing out there at second base. th hit that Ichiro's had against Millwood, and 16 of the 17 Tag have been singles. A lot of them have done some damage.
Well, Ichiro leads the league. He got one last night in infield hits. He has 43 infield hits on the season. He'll also get his share of choppers through the infield, bloopers to the infield. And as we've seen in this series, he'll get his share of line drives too. The double he hit to clear the bases yesterday was a smash. The one he just hit was a hard ball.
One hopper gobbled up by Wilkerson to end the inning, but Ichiro at it one more time, making it 2-0 Seattle at the bottom of the second coming up. Dodge C.J. Wilson will be chatting it up with us right here on FSN Southwest. What a year it's been for C.J. With Akinori Otsuka shut down possibly for the rest of the year. We now know, Tag, that C.J. Wilson and his emergence as the Ranger closer. It's not going to be a flash in the pan kind of deal here in 2007. Looks like C.J.'s got that gig for about another 5 weeks. Wilkerson at the plate, takes outside.
Definitely taken to the job. He made no bones about it. I want the job, and I've got confidence that I can do the job, and he's shown no reason to believe that that's not true.
And put that movie-making career on hold for a little while. Looks like pitching could work out okay first.
He would be able to make a movie about himself. Texas Ranger closer.
Wilson, Texas Ranger. Felix Hernandez 3-2 on Wilkerson, who was 4 for 4 yesterday. His first 4-hit game since 2005, and his first pure 4 for 4 game since 2003. And considering he learned of his playing status an hour and a half before game time, that's a real good night.
The last pitch by Hernandez registered at 97 on our gun, 99 on the stadium gun.
A little bit of a Wilkerson's night last night. Jeff Weaver was up against him, and there went Wilkerson. He's going to foul one. It is bobbled out of the mezzanine down to the lower deck. A nice crowd here on a Friday night tonight. Wilkerson, sharp grounder to second. There's the first out here in the bottom of inning 2. Well, Tag, we were talking about Felix Hernandez and the possibility of a guy that young throwing as many as 200 innings in a season. Since 1967, there have been 7 pitchers who have thrown 200 innings at the age of 20 or younger. And 6 of those 7 broke down with arm injuries before the age of 25. Gary Nolan, Don Gullett, Frank Tanana, Dave Rozema, Doc Gooden, and a guy that pitched for the Rangers, who you might remember came up with an arm injury after establishing very early, right when Jose Guzman was coming up as well. Edwin Correa. The only 20-year-old, Tag, who never broke down with that kind of first-year workload was Bert Blyleven. Of those 7.
And I guess Dwight Gooden must have been 21 then.
Mm-hmm.
But he's another guy that had a pretty good workload early in his career.
You know,
That's why I think 10 times the age for innings is 20, 21, 22. That's still that's a lot of innings for a young kid.
Bots down on strikes, and as you say, it's just kind of a loose, kind of field guide to it. You're not married to that exact math. I think it's more to keep the guys who are 17 years old from throwing more than 170.
Yeah, I'd be surprised in the minor leagues if you have any young kids, 17, 18, that are throwing even 170 innings. I think most of those kids are probably throwing 100, 125, 135 innings, somewhere around in there. And the ones that have just signed out of high school and college are probably throwing very little at all in professional ball, because they've been used, if they're good enough to be drafted, they've been used extensively in high school and college. And then if you put them in a regular rotation and let them pitch 100 pitches, by the end of the season they might be approaching 180 or 190 innings. And I think everybody feels that's too much for a young kid 17 or 18 years old. At least it is today. It wasn't a long time ago. But I think what happened a long time ago was you don't read about the young players who had arm injuries and were out of baseball when they were 17 and 18.
Mm-hmm.
The ones you read about are kind of survival of the fittest. They're the ones that are freaks of nature, like Nolan Ryan, who were just able, for one reason or another, great mechanics, strong body, whatever the God-given genetics, were able to withstand a high workload and have a career without being injured. Back then, they didn't label it an injury. They just said they threw their arm out. They didn't know it was rotator cuff.
You got to like Felix Hernandez if you're a Seattle Mariner fan. He just strikes out Box and Saltalamacchia to keep it 2-0 at the end of 2. Baseball brought to you by your Texas Dodge dealers, also by Geico Insurance and by Rico. At the ballpark tonight, there's our good friend Norm Hitzges out there in the wedge, also known as the wedgie. Norm named it that, and Norm has some good P1 listeners at the ticket with him tonight. And he's got some crisp $100 bills on him, I do believe, Tom, if a baseball gets hit into the wedgie tonight. If a Ranger homers into that little tiny triangle down there. For whatever reason, Norm is prepared to hand out $100 bills just to celebrate.
For the people in the wedge?
Yeah, just to celebrate their good fortune. Very nice of Norm. Very odd of Norm. But we are very happy to have the great Norm Hitzges in the ballpark tonight. One and one to Jose Guillen. Now, earlier tonight, he lined one clear out of here. Got the Mariners a 1-0 lead. They have added to that. They're trying to follow up on a 9-4 win yesterday, and the Mariners now even in the loss column tagged with the Angels. I'm with you. When the Mariners played here a month ago and the Rangers swept them, boy, it sure kind of looked like the beginning of the end for John McLaren and these Seattle Mariners.
Yeah, since then they've gone 18-7. They're 27-20 under John McLaren. And when he took over, they just won 8 in a row under Mike Hargrove. So the Mariners have kept it together. Change of managers, withstood that 4-game sweep by the Rangers, and they're right where they want to be right now.
But can they withstand playing 44 games in the last 45 days of the season?
Yeah, we'll see.
On the ground to third, backing on it, Metcalf. Low throw, and Wilkerson couldn't make that snatch catch over there. Now Travis charged with an error yesterday. It led to a big inning, and you're certainly hoping that a big inning's not in the offing now.
I thought I was going to take a tricky hop on it, but he handled the hop fine. Got rid of the ball quickly, maybe too quickly. I'm not sure if he had a real good grip on the ball. He's got a little more time, I think, than he took. And it bounces a little too close to Brett. If that ball bounces a little bit closer to the pitcher's mound, it takes a big hop. It's easy to play. If it bounces a little bit closer to him, it's a short hop that you can scoop. But that in-between hop is a tough one to judge.
Raul Ibanez.
Oh, this guy's a hitting machine right now, boy.
In the left field, he goes with it. And on to third. Well, that didn't go well at all. Ibanez was into second base on that throw that was offline. And that hustle right there of Guillen charging all the way to third base. All of a sudden, you got the Mariners with second and third, and nobody out.
Another shot for Ibanez. Remember, he hit the line shot off Kevin's foot for a base hit the first time up. Guillen challenged the play, never really slowed down, and then beats the throw there. And on the play, Ibanez goes to second himself.
That forces the infield to come in. Beltre swings, and right away that is going to work out. Metcalf right across the diamond. So Ibanez swinging at the first pitch. Beltre swinging at the first pitch. They did that in the first inning too with pretty good success. A single and a double. Now Richie Sexton to the plate, and you know, Sexton obviously a guy who can hurt you in any situation, Tom, but right now second and third, one out. We remind you he's also a guy that can strike out. He can also afford the luxury, I guess, of pitching somewhat carefully to him if he reaches first. You got the double play in order.
I think most times with men on second and third and nobody out in the third inning, a manager will play the infield back. But when you're behind 2-0, and Ron's had the benefit of watching Hernandez throw for a couple of innings, you're making the statement right here. I'm playing the infield in because it looks like runs are going to be hard to come by tonight against Hernandez, and I don't want a ground ball turned into an out allowing a run to score. So you gamble and you play the infield in. So far for the first hitter, it worked well. Ground ball right straight to third. If the Rangers were ahead 2-0 in this game, then you probably play the infield back and you do give up a run. Someone listening might say, well, why would you give up a run? Give up a run on the ground ball. The thought being, if you played the infield in, that same ground ball might have snuck through the infielders who are much closer to the hitter now. And it takes a ball really hit right at a fielder to get an out. Those in-between balls now are definitely going to go through for hits. Whereas if you're playing back, you have more room to make a play on those.
Millwood's 0-2. Missing in. Sexton struck out 4 times yesterday, but he did have a hit, which, as you can see, has been something he's been doing very frequently lately.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah, he just missed in and he just missed out.
A little cut fastball, trying to catch the outside corner with it. Couldn't quite do it. A little bit outside. Now, Sexton over the last 2 weeks, and there's the confirmation was outside by the tracker. Last 2 weeks he's hitting close to 400. There aren't many guys in the lineup who haven't been hot over at least a 2-week period. Some of them much longer than that.
3 in a row out of the zone.
In fact, the only guy in the lineup who hasn't been hot is Lopez, who's
right.
Hit around 200 since the All-Star break. Other than that, just about every guy in the lineup's been hot. And you can't hit 333 as a team in this month without having a lot of guys hot.
Another comebacker. Millwood caught it before it even hit the ground, and he scares the runner at third, right back to third. So, you know, we talk a lot, Tag, about the number of times Millwood gets balls hit back to him, and how he's sometimes not in position to make those plays, but he made that one fine.
Yeah, if the ball is on the right side of the rubber, Kevin's in fine position. You can see this ball is on our left, the batter's right side of the rubber. Watch him follow through. The ball's on that side. If that ball is hit to his other side, it's up the middle for a base hit. But on that kind of a ball, he is in fine position to field it. See his right leg as he follows through comes across his left leg. Kind of turns his body on the hitter. It's fine if it's on the first base side of the rubber.
Michael Young, the backhand pick. He'll step, he'll gun. He got him! And Millwood is out of the inning. Purchase, you get a coupon good for a $2 upper level ticket as well. There's a t-shirt that you will purchase if you'd like to for $2
Who's
on
behind that
Tuesday.
t-shirt?
That's Jill. You thought it was kind of a floating random t-shirt?
They're just out there floating in midair.
Stage manager to the Stars. That was Jill. David Murphy behind in the count 0-2. And the Rangers are behind 2-0. Although I guess you're kind of thankful it's only 2-0, Tom. It was second and third, nobody out there, top of the third.
Yeah, that had the makings of a big inning. Started with an error. Each runner took an extra base on the single. But to Kevin's credit, he got the 3 ground balls. To Michael Young's credit, made a nice play on that hard hit ball, backhand play. And the way that Hernandez is pitching tonight, it looks like trying to keep them from scoring that inning could be very important. Hernandez has a fastball tonight. Most of them are above 96 miles an hour. He's gone as high as 99. He has a curveball he can strike you out with. Probably his best strikeout pitch is a slider that he throws.
Mariners wouldn't even let him throw that pitch for a while. Yep. I mean, in the minor leagues, they knew he had it. But kind of what we were talking about with being very careful with the goods. They said, hey, it's a great pitch. We just would prefer you don't throw it. Not till you get to the big leagues. And he struck out 3 in a row.
That's a slider that's similar to the one that K-Rod throws. Almost breaks like a sharp, hard-breaking curveball.
Now Travis Metcalf, the guy that had the 8 RBI doubleheader in Baltimore. You know, here's a guy, Tom, that had 6 runs batted in 100 big league at bats before then. He had 6 runs batted in 69 at bats with Oklahoma before he got called up. Then he runs out there and gets 8 runs batted in over a stretch of basically 3 at bats.
Yep. How do you figure that out?
Baseball's a funny game.
Yes, it is.
And Metcalf was hitting only 148 at AAA. Our Geico quote Travis saying that he wasn't a big fan of AAA. Nothing against Oklahoma City, of course, but he said he was struggling, wasn't playing like himself. After I got the call, I knew I had to flip the switch. Yeah, he did that. First swing he takes, it's a grand slam. Oh, he swings here and he becomes a 4th consecutive strikeout victim of King Felix. He's got 5 strikeouts once through the Ranger order.
It's his 96-mile-an-hour fastball. A little bit of sinking action on just for a little added effect. If the velocity and location aren't enough, let's add a little movement to it to make it impossible to hit.
The Venezuelan strikeout machine is certainly operating well against the Texas Rangers. Johan Santana Sunday. Felix Hernandez tonight.
Last year he struck out a little over 8 per 9 innings. Had the 3rd best ratio in the league. This year he's 7th. A little over 8 strikeouts per 9 innings. Has given up some hits this year, more hits than innings pitched. Opponents coming into the game were hitting .285 against him. But for a young kid and a hard throwing kid, a power pitcher, he has pretty good control. He's only walked 40 batters in 140 innings.
Facing a guy who's been having a great month, Catalinato. He's going to break the string of strikeouts, but he's going to ground out to make it 9 in a row retired by 21-year-old Felix Hernandez. In the fourth, it's time for the Aflac trivia question. Since 1974, only 3 players have had 5 or more Grand Slams in a season. Can you name them? One of them just might be playing ball tonight, right here on this field. How many Grand Slams in your career, Tag? Any idea off the top of your head?
I know I had one. I think it was one. I remember exactly where it was too. It was in Seattle, 1977, and Mike Kekich was on the mound for Seattle.
The Mariners' maiden year, 1977.
As far as I can remember, that was the only one.
That's when the Kingdome was brand sparkling new and state of the art. Now it's just blown up.
We'll be going back to Seattle to end the season. We'll probably be able to watch that again, that implosion.
There is an explosion by Jose Lopez. Deep in the left, but Catalanato able to go back and get it. So there's one down here at the top of the fourth. Betancourt comes up next, and we go to Jim Knox.
All right, thank you, Josh. Here in center field, I found a vintage baseball team from Farmers Branch. This is Catfish. Explain to me what this league is about.
The vintage baseball team or league is about old-time baseball, played by rules from 1860s. No gloves. You catch ball on the first bounce, still out. A lot of hit and run.
Very nice. Look at this guy down here. It looks like he played maybe back in the vintage days, huh?
Yeah, say back in all 3 out here when they made the first field, I sure was.
The guy's familiar face here, Tim George, former Montreal Explo, played with Andre Dawson. What got you involved?
Well, just being around the game, love of the game. It's a different style of baseball, and it's very unique.
Less running, huh?
Less running.
Okay, good to see you. Thank you very much, guys. Thanks, Josh.
I gotta admit, I thought that those shirts said FBI when they first walked in. I'm thinking, oh boy. Thank you, Jim. Welcome, fellas. 1-1 to Betancourt. He's going to take a strike, 1-2. He was talking about the Mariners when they first came on the scene. Boy, that city was pretty starved to get baseball back. It was an abject failure the first time they had it. The old Seattle Pilots played at 6 Stadium in 1969. Another chance for Metcalf. This time his throw right on the money. 2 down. I guess the Seattle Pilots, though, a lot of people still know who they are and know all about 6 Stadium because of the book that was written by Jim Bouton about his year with them.
They may have been a failure, but they provided some good fodder from Jim Bouton.
Some of the more memorable quotes. The hijinks and hilarity from that 69 team. Fred Talbot and Jim Gosker and
Joe Schultz.
Joe Schultz. Pound that Budweiser, boys. About 1977, the Mariners, as baseball expanded to Toronto and Seattle. That old upside down trident logo that the Mariners rolled out there with. They had the tugboat that brought relievers in from the from the bullpen. That lasted about a month. Ichiro, grounder, first base. And nice to keep Ichiro off the bases, isn't it? Nice, clean, quick, easy inning. Bottom of the fourth coming up, still 2-0. That'll be a question for you. The players since '74 who have had 5 or more Grand Slams in a season. Don Mattingly and Travis Hafner each had 6. Richie Sexton in this game tonight. He had 5 last year. It's a pretty short list. The Rangers leader in Grand Slams this year with 2 is Victor Diaz. And he, of course, now is in AAA. Felix Hernandez, who has set down 9 straight. That's not something Kinsler wants to hear. He's 3 for his last 28. Rangers and Mariners play again tomorrow night. A 7:35 first pitch. Looks like Jamie Wright's going to get that start, Tom, against Horacio Ramirez. Ramirez, who's 8-4 somehow with an ERA of 7.15.
I'd say that would boil down to some pretty good run support. Either that or he just got bombed in a couple of his losses. Sometimes that can happen too. You could have 2 or 3 starts where you give up 8 or 9 runs.
Yeah, that's true. Kinsler becomes the 6th strikeout victim of Hernandez.
Yeah, this is starting to look eerily familiar.
Tomorrow, my partner, Mr. Grieve, will be working with Victor Rojas. And Vic will tell you about that matchup of Wright and Horacio Ramirez. We'll tell you about it right now, courtesy of Panda Express and their delicious orange chicken. Well, Jamie Wright has done a nice job in long relief. A soft line drive from Michael Young for out number 2.
Yeah, I think he's in pretty good shape to start because of the relief outings he's had. He's haven't been just short duration outings. He's had some where he's thrown a bunch of pitches. So that should work out fine for Jamie. He's accustomed to being a starter, even though he's done a solid job as a reliever. I know he'd rather be a starter. Therefore, he's probably very much looking forward to that start tomorrow.
There's Mr. Wright, ladies. Everybody in the truck, everybody just groaned at that one. Everybody.
I can't understand why.
I don't know why that would be. You ever heard 10 people groan all at once? Recently?
I have now.
1-1 to count to Marlon Byrd. Well, the only base runner for the Rangers was to lead off. That was Catalinato, very first batter for the Rangers tonight. It's not like Hernandez was lights out last time. He gave up 10 hits in 6 innings, 5 runs. That was against the White Sox, a team the Rangers haven't seen in a while, but a team that's about to come back in.
About to get swept in a doubleheader today too by the Red Sox, it looks like.
The Yankees and Tigers are in a long rain delay. Yeah, Boston's up 9-1 in the 5th inning in game 2. Final in the first game of that doubleheader was 11-3 Boston. Josh Beckett goes to 16-5.
The White Sox are probably lost a little of their glow from that World Series team.
Yeah, it didn't stick around very long.
Can't imagine the fans are real happy there right now.
Bettencourt over to first. This is some kind of performance. 12 in a row since the leadoff single by Catalinato. Millwood right back out there, down 2-0. Park before tomorrow's game. Gates open at 4:30. Concert starts at 5:30. Afterwards, there's the Ranger game against Seattle at 7:35. Concert admission is free with your Rangers game ticket and vice versa. So to get yours, call 972-RANGERS. Or you can always visit TexasRangers.com. Got a nice crowd here tonight on a Friday night. The back-to-school backpacks, courtesy of Dr. Pepper this evening. And the 5th inning underway. Kevin Millwood will face a couple of Jose's here, Vidro and Guillen. Then Raul Ibanez. Well, those are 3 guys who have been hitting the ball very well this month of August. To center field, and Bird streaking towards left. Vidro, as you check your Ford leaderboard, how hot is hot? Well, since the All-Star break, nobody's been hotter in the American League. Jorge Posada stays hot, Tom, and you know we're looking at Saltalamacchia catching tonight. Switch hitting catchers. We were talking about that concept earlier. The Indians feel like they've got a real keeper in Victor Martinez. Here are the Rangers with Saltalamacchia now. Remember, the Mariners thought they had struck gold with Ben Davis. Everybody seems to love the possibility, that tantalizing possibility of a switch hitting catcher. Ted Simmons back in the day, pretty good one, switch hitting catcher. That ball taking off by Guillen. And at the wall, Murphy's got it.
Almost went in the wedge.
That would have been $1,800. Norm Hitzges.
He was reaching for his wallet.
First time for everything. Yeah, Norm's promised if a ball gets in the wedgie tonight, he's going to be handing out $100 bills. So.
That was a close call out there. Look at the smiles.
Show you 2 poles in that shot there, the foul pole and Norm.
Norm was about ready to say, I'll be right back. I've got to go to the concession stand. The last they saw of him tonight.
Ibanez towards center. Long run back. Bird twisted around on it. Over one shoulder, then over the other. And Ibanez just keeps on getting it done.
That guy is just smoking, boy. 420 in 17 games coming into the night and 3 ropes tonight. That ball sliced a little bit on Marlon Byrd, who overran it by quite a margin. And then has to turn around and come that way. The ball was actually going that way just a little bit. He made a good recovery but couldn't get to it. You don't have as much time to recover when a guy hits the ball that hard.
A hard hit ball to left center, hard hit ball to right, now a hard hit ball to center. And Adrian Beltre, another of the guys who's been swinging a mean bat for Seattle. 8-game hitting streak for Beltre. I think the numbers that Beltre has right now, 281 batting average, 20 jacks, 75 runs batted in. I think that when the Mariners got him tagged, I think that's precisely what they figured would be about right on the date of August 24th. I don't think they were expecting the 48 home runs that he hit for the Dodgers in his contract year, but
they may not have been expecting it, but they were hoping for it.
I mean, you know, 20 right now, that means he's on a pace for what, 25 or 26, knocking 100. I think that.
I think, yeah, I think if you had to put round numbers on what the Mariners were looking for after they signed Beltre after that huge year, it would probably be 290, 30, and 100. So, something like that. A little bit less, a little bit more. I think that's exactly what they'd be looking for. Were they drop down to 26 or so? That's fine. You knock 95. That's fine. 105, somewhere around in there. That's what I think. That's what they wanted.
I don't think they're thrilled with 223 with runners in scoring position.
No, and you know, if he was hitting it a little bit higher, that would add to his RBI total, obviously.
Line shot foul over there.
The other thing you get with Beltre, though, in addition to the offense, is you get a very good defensive player at third base.
Yep.
Big, strong guy, plays every day, plays with some enthusiasm, and he'll throw some Gold Glove caliber leather at you out there at third base too. He's a good player.
Carlos Garcia, the third base coach Needed that leather of which you speak over there. That was a hard hit baseball.
Yeah, this is one where the third base coach is kind of vulnerable too, because you have to let the guy at second know whether or not an infielder's cutting behind him for a pickoff play. You can't watch the hitter, and you'd like to be in position to wave him home, which means down the line a little bit, so you're a little bit closer to the hitter.
Boy, there's the least enforced rule in baseball, Tom, out of the rule book. That's a coach's box down there. In theory, you're supposed to be in that bracket. And Garcia's not the first guy who's not even close, but you'll never see that enforced.
I can remember Tim Foley one day in this ballpark being almost down in the on-deck circle. I think it was to get out of the way of the hitter.
Over to third for Metcalf. High throw, but no problems. Millwood out of the inning. And it stays 2-0 Seattle. By your Texas Ford dealers and by Aflac Insurance. All right, the Rangers' mission, if they choose to accept it, try to get a couple of hits off Felix Hernandez. He allowed an opposite field single to Frank Catalanato, very first batter of the ball game for the Rangers. Since then, though, 12 up, 12 down for the 21-year-old out of Valencia, Valenzuela. Wilkerson, Botts, and Saltalamacchia up this inning.
Josh, we want to thank our friend John Zierfus for the short story he sent us. He's got a little book. We haven't read it yet. It's called Slow Willie. John also has written over the years a lot of really nice poems, baseball poems about players. I remember a great one he wrote about Cal Ripken and numerous other ones. Watches all the games on, a lot of the games on TV. So, John, I don't know if you're here tonight or if you're watching on TV, but if you're watching on TV, thanks for the short story. Josh and I will both read it. And thanks for being such a great Ranger fan, too.
Never have enough reading material. The 2-2 on its way to Wilkerson now. He's going to fight it foul.
John lives in Garland, Texas.
That's the home of director Dave Burchett.
That's right. Who knows? Might live right next door to him.
Wow, strike three on the outside corner, and that is the 7th strikeout for King Felix.
Well, he's featuring a nice slider tonight. He's throwing free and easy, making it look easy, popping his fastball at 95 plus. and getting a lot of strikeouts with his slider. And came back and caught most of the plate.
No walks either for Hernandez. And again, just the one hit. Opposite field single from the Cat.
He's throwing the slider for strikes just as easily as he's throwing his fastball for strikes.
Well, the Rangers have a couple of big switch hitters here back-to-back in the lineup. And Botts and Saltalamacchia. Baseball America, Tom, recently did a thing about their all-time switch hitting team, their active switch hitting team. I guess their point being that switch hitting is kind of a dying art. Botts with a grounder up near first. That is out number 2. They've got Posada for now as the top switch hitting catcher.
Okay.
And Saltalamacchia coming up now. He's going to try to challenge that someday. They've got Teixeira at first. Ray Durham at second. Chipper Jones at third. Guillen at short. Carlos Guillen, that is. Outfield of Berkman, Beltran, and Swisher. Victor Martinez is your DH. But right here it's Saltalamacchia.
Pretty good team.
It's a very good team of switch hitters. Probably the best switch hitter of all time. Well, I mean, for power, Mickey Mantle, right?
He'd be my favorite. He was also, well, he nosedived right at the end of his career. He didn't quite hit 300, but he won a batting championship one year, hitting 353, hit 365 another year. So he's also an average guy.
Pete Rose has got to make the list, though, too, at some point.
Pete Rose, Eddie Murray.
Eddie Murray, for sure. They had their all-time switch hitting team as Murray at first, Roberto Alomar at second, Chipper Jones at third, Tony Fernandez at short. Tim Raines, Mickey Mantle, Pete Rose in the outfield, Reggie Smith as a DH.
Who was the catcher?
Ted Simmons.
Ted Simmons, yep. Boy, that's, you forget how many great switch hitters.
Yeah. Only one switch hitter's ever been an AL MVP, though, and that was the Mick. National League, Chipper Jones, the late Ken Caminiti, Terry Pendleton, Willie McGee, and Maury Wills. The two leagues have handed out about 190 MVP trophies. Switch hitters have won 8 of them. So I guess what we're saying is that it's a tough thing to do really well. Saltalamacchia, a little half swing, base hit. That'll work. In a row had been retired. Kind of an excuse me single right there, but the Rangers will take it. They got the tying man coming to the plate.
Probably would have been ball 4. Jared didn't even know where the ball was.
No.
You could see him kind of looking. Oh, there it is.
I should run. Now David Murphy. I'm looking at some of the splits here, Tom, on these switch hitters and whether they hit better lefty or righty. The guys that I'm amazed by are the guys that have like no drop off at all. They're almost exactly the same from both sides of the plate. Murphy bidding to tie the game, drives it to right, and he has done it. That is a home run for Murphy.
Well, a little blooper opened up the door, and David looked like he hit some type of an off-speed pitch. He got out in front of it. He hit it so hard and such a low-line drive, there was a question whether it would sneak out. But it just got over the top of the wall, hit the back wall, and came back. David continues to play some great baseball for the Rangers. Adds a home run to the list now. He had a bunch of doubles, hitting for a good average. Now the bloop and the blast, and the Rangers are tied at 2.
It's his second big league home run. His first as a Ranger.
Hernandez might kick himself a little bit. That looked like a changeup. He'd been going pretty much fastball slider with a lot of success. And he tried the changeup. Gave David a pitch he could get out in front of and drive. And now it's a tie game.
Now Metcalf with a grounder to second base. David Murphy. 2-run, 2-out home run. Off the King. 2-2 at the end of 5. Hot dog night, and Tom and I will be broadcasting from section 50 out there in the grandstand. Come on out and share some hot dogs with us. 972 Rangers, the number to call. It's also a Dr. Pepper autograph Wednesday. A lot of fun stuff will be happening on Wednesday night. This is not an unfun ball game tonight, Mr. Grieve, with the Rangers now right back in at 2-2.
No, I like games like this.
Sexton lifting it to left. Well, Millwood again, you know, I mean, last time matched up against Johan Santana. All you can do is just try to keep it down to a dull roar. Give your team a chance. And when it was second and third and nobody out in the top of the third, and already 2-0 Seattle, that's kind of a flashpoint moment of the ball game where you say, all right, either it's very quickly 4-0 and you're really up against it, or you keep it 2-0 and you got a shot. Millwood found a way to keep it 2-0. It was helped out by Michael Young, too. Made a terrific play to end that inning. Strike to Jojima. Another strike to Jojima. Only 20 pitches have missed the strike zone from Kevin, and here we are in the 6th inning. All right, 21. Now the Rangers had come in, Tom, with 50 hits in their last 3 games. And there they were at 1 for 15 for a while tonight. And as you said, the bloop and the blast to get it done. Michael Young shovels it out of the dirt. We go to Jim Knox.
All right, thank you, Josh. Most popular section here at Ranger Ballpark tonight has to be right here, section 201 through 206. We're on 202 because all you can eat right here in section 202. And Joel, how much do you have tonight?
We've had a couple nachos, some hot dogs, and some cotton candy, right, Brooke?
Yeah, he agrees. Okay.
She's full.
Well, let's go over to his wife, Kellen. Kellen, how about you?
I've had 5 hot dogs, 6 bowls of nachos, and 7 Cokes.
Very nice. And Joel is big baseball. Mark Frito's twin brother. He's right here taking notes. Pete's sign right there, getting ready for their post-game show on 1310 The Ticket, the radios after the game. And kind of looks similar. But Frito, what are you eating tonight?
I've got my apples here, Jim.
Apples. Can you believe that?
Frito's lost a little weight.
You know?
Yep.
He has lost weight. All right, guys, appreciate it. Thanks. You got some catching up to do. Yeah.
It's a great listen on the drive home. 2 strikes to count to Jose Lopez. All you can eat tickets. That's what I heard the first time. I'm thinking, that's great. All the tickets you can eat. What a deal.
I might be able to get through a quarter of one.
It's all the food you can eat and tickets for that section. Another ground ball induced by Millwood.
Kevin's got it going right now.
Yes, he does. And the Rangers, let's see if they can keep that momentum. They just scored 2 off Hernandez in the bottom of the 5th. And here they come in the bottom of the 6th. For $300 plus tickets to a Ranger game and dinner for 2 at Sonic. The Rangers are hitting for Carol Dunshee of Plano. The Ranger hits the grand slam during this inning. We're giving away $25,000. You can register at any North Texas Sonic restaurant. We recently gave away the $25,000. I'm told that on the next homestand tag, we're going to meet the recipient of that check.
Good.
Catalinato against Felix Hernandez. Matchup of Felix and the Cat. And Catalinato is out quickly here to begin the 6th inning. Hernandez, you talk about cruising along. 14 batters in a row retired, and then a little half swing by Saltalamacchia. The ball plummeted off his bat down onto the green just beyond third base. Up comes David Murphy. Takes one out of the yard, and just like that, it's 2-2. Whoa, inside to Kinsler. Minnesota's defeated Baltimore 7-4. Torrey Hunter, a home run. Number 25. Justin Morneau, number 29.
Finally hit one. He hadn't hit one in a long time.
That's right, about close to 100 at-bats for Morneau. Well, we keep hinting that the Twins hanging in there, but they really are. They're 6 games out. They've won 7 of 11. Cleveland is trailing Kansas City 2-0 tonight in the 7th inning. Well, could put the Twins 5.5 games out. Tigers and Yankees still in a rain delay. That's a 3-hour rain delay.
They're waiting to get that one in, aren't they?
Got the big sellout crowd. You got the Yankees in town. You want to play the game. Earlier today, Boston over Chicago in the first of 2, 11-3. And Josh Beckett, the first of 16 wins this year. Game 2, the Red Sox are killing them again, 9-1. A pair of home runs for David Ortiz. Kinsler checks his swing and draws the first walk allowed by Felix Hernandez all night.
First walk of the ball game, I think.
You are correct, sir. The run with Kinsler here is 16 for 16 stealing bases.
Definitely. Got a guy up at the plate that can hit with 2 strikes or handle the bat. You can do a lot of things right here. You could try to steal. You could do a hit and run. I think in this case, if Ian gets a jump, go for it.
First one's a fastball, strike 1. Michael, a strikeout and a line out. Two runs, 7 hits for Seattle. 2 runs on only 3 for the Rangers. Kinsler looked like he might be going that time, but he's still hanging out at first, 1-1.
I don't think I've ever seen that view of a lead off of first. That's pretty cool.
Another power fastball right there. Young kind of expanding his strike zone. That's from the sets of FSN Rangers Live right there, that camera.
Huh.
And a quick programming reminder, you'll see FSN Live after the game. This time Young making contact. But again, that same pitch, same place, same velocity. National League Finals, Cincinnati over Florida 5-3. Mets are leading the Dodgers 5-2 in the 9th inning. Boy, and the Phillies could drop to 6 back. San Diego trouncing Philadelphia right now 13-3 in the 9th inning. 2 home runs for former Ranger Adrian Gonzalez. Kinsler going, and a good thing he was. Hernandez makes the play on to first. Well, the Rangers hit into 4 double plays last night, and sending Kinsler right there to make sure they don't hit into one here. Marlon Byrd, with only 6 home runs, has 52 runs batted in. He's had the knack for 2-out hits as a Ranger.
Hernandez is doing a nice job of hitting that outside corner to the last couple hitters. And you're throwing as hard as he is. Keep that slider, keep the fastball in mid-90s on the outside part of the plate. You're going to get a lot of outs.
Heading towards short. Betancourt better get rid of it now. Got him barely. And Ron Washington out to argue the point. Byrd thought he was safe. Ron Washington out to talk to Jim Joyce. Inning over. Kinsler stranded. It is 2-2 at the end of 6. Southwest Airlines. Back third of the ball game coming up. Kevin Millwood and Felix Hernandez. Quite a little pitcher's duel going on tonight. 2-2. Not 30-3. Betancourt is wailing away right there. He's down 0-1.
He's going to swing at it. Betancourt's only walked 15 times. He has 434 at bats. Doesn't strike out either. He's only struck out 40 times.
Yes, if you throw it up there, he will swing at it. Betancourt
keep it up there then.
Yeah, I would too. Well, he's hitting 295. We're doing something right. But
Track will show you how high they were.
Swings at that one. And Michael Young throwing on to Wilkerson, out number 1. Well, it was Felix Hernandez who obviously kind of took everybody's attention for a while, but here's Millwood, Tom. He's retired 14 out of 15. Why throw a strike to Betancourt?
Well, the thing is, even if you make good contact on pitches that are that far out of the strike zone, it doesn't do you a whole lot of good. You're better, right? Sometimes you're better off swinging and missing at it unless you have 2 strikes, because you can't hit that ball that hard. You might find a hole with a little ground ball or a blooper.
Ichiro with a bunt. It is foul.
I mentioned several starts ago when Kevin moved to the other side of the pitching rubber, how it freed up his arm and made him feel like he can throw more pitches for quality strikes. And it seems to be working very well. We talked in the open about him. You see him go to the first base side of the rubber. His last 2 starts, both 7-inning starts, both 1 run allowed. And now he's already in the 7th inning. He's only thrown 76 pitches. So he definitely does seem to be more efficient. Forget it.
Mr. Infield hit.
Ichiro gets all kinds of hits. When you get 230 hits a year, you're going to be hitting a lot of line drives, but he also gets probably more cheap hits than any player in the league too. That ball just ate him up right off the fist. A little humpback blooper toward shortstop. But that's his game. That's what he's trying to do. He's not trying to hit the ball off the handle like that, but based on the way he swings and the way he hits, he's going to hit a lot of balls like that. And with his speed, they turn into hits.
And in a 2-2 game, you obviously have to be worried about him stealing a base right now.
Yeah, it's not Kevin's strong suit holding runners on.
No, not at all.
But a little slide step helps. That definitely makes it harder for the base stealer.
Ichiro, a tough guy to catch. He had that stretch at one point of 42 in a row, stealing bases successfully. And Millwood, a guy that a couple of years ago was the easiest in baseball to run against. You're putting a lot of pressure on young Jared Saltalamacchia back there. He's charged with making sure that Ichiro doesn't steal second. Vidro has been induced to hit the ball on the ground a couple times. If you're thinking about turning a double play, I think the toughest thing to do is get Ichiro at second base. Vidro, with his knees the way they are, he doesn't run very well anymore. Ichiro runs, great jump, and a slowly hit ground ball. Kinsler takes his time, and they do get out number 2. Coming up in just a bit, our Toyota truck game break. Get you up to speed on what's happening out there. Later on, the Angels are taking on Toronto. And again, the Mariners with an eye towards that. They are even in the loss column with the Halos now. Well, Millwood at only 80 pitches tonight. Got 2 outs here in the 7th inning. And he's facing Jose Guillen. Guillen, remember, homered on a 2-0 pitch back in the first. He's really hit the ball very hard 3 times tonight.
One of the measures for the type of game that Kevin is pitching is how hot the Mariners have been. We've talked about almost every guy in the lineup except Lopez has a varying degree of hotness. Some of them for a couple of weeks, some of them for a couple of months. But they're hitting .335 as a team this month. And for Kevin to be holding them down like this shows how well he's thrown the ball tonight. He's given up 8 hits, but he's scattered the 8 hits. Gave up 3 hits in the first inning. Other than that, gave up a couple of hits in the second inning, gave up a run in each inning. Since that time, he's only given up 3 hits. And a relatively decent pitch total. If he can get out of this inning facing Guillen, he'll be around 85 pitches for 7 innings, have a chance to go out and finish the 8th inning.
Mariners have action in their bullpen. The lefty George Sherrill. It goes lefty, switch hitter, lefty coming up for the Rangers in the 7th. 1-2 to Guillen. Little looper, base hit. Boy, oh boy. 3-2 Seattle. And Guillen towards second base. He is out. Oh, and Guillen right up in Jim Wolf's grill. Guillen got the RBI. The run does score. But he got greedy trying to run on David Murphy.
Carlos Garcia got there just in time, too. Guillen was on his way out of this game.
Guillen, he had hit the ball hard 3 times. This one wasn't really hit that hard. But it got the job done. Run scores. But there's the final out of the inning as we send it to our studio now for the Toyota Truck Game Break.
I mean, I think for me, throwing a low mid-90s fastball, it's a great pitch. And I throw mine where it moves into the hitter a little bit, like a cutter or a 2-seamer, or tails into him. And it's an intimidating pitch in a way. Guys aren't comfortable with it, and sometimes, you get the fun effect of breaking the guy's bat or having him just take a huge swing and swing right through it.
C.J. Wilson brought to you by Dodger Texas Truck Stop. Pretty good lefty out there in the Ranger bullpen. Pretty good lefty out of Seattle's pen now pitching. George Sherrill to Brad Wilkerson, who's behind 0-2. Sherrill, the 1.95 ERA, and lefties Tagger hitting 160 against him.
He doesn't walk many, and he gets his share of strikeouts too, more than the strikeout per inning.
Wilkerson's a believer. He's 0 for 5 against him. And Felix Hernandez, 6 innings. Good work tonight. 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. Just the one mistake to David Murphy. Little half swing here. Betancourt, bare hand pick up. He got him.
Nice play. So that's the difference between Ichiro and other players. Every time Ichiro does that, it's a base hit. Most of the time other players do it, it's an out. And that's, you know, that's the difference between Ichiro being a 350 hitter and a 305 hitter. All the infield hits that he gets, maybe more than that.
Ichiro reaching on one of those, ended up scoring the go-ahead run in the top of this inning. Close play again.
That's a nice play by Betancourt.
Botts gets to bat right-handed. Well, Botts an 0 for 2 tonight, and you know, you're rooting for Jason Botts if you're a Ranger fan, I'm sure. A guy that's been kind of spinning his wheels at AAA, getting the extended look. But now he's hitting .219. And in that, he is pretty much an everyday player now. I'm sure Jason's kind of feeling like, all right, it's time to get this thing going. Only 8 runs batted in for Jason up here. And work the count in his favor, though, right now. 3-1. Only crowd of 32,000. 716. Watching Botts foul one off his foot. Again, the same 2 teams tomorrow night. 7:35 first pitch. Jamie Wright against Horacio Ramirez, and Sunday is Padilla and Washburn. Line to foul. Astros leading the Pirates tonight 3-2. Braves are out in front of the Cardinals 2-0 in the 3rd inning. Both the Cubs and the Brewers lead early tonight. Cubs in Arizona 2-0. Brewers 1-0 in San Francisco. Up and outside, the tying man's on. The go-ahead man coming up, and Jared Saltalamacchia. Joe McLaren, who kind of has a perpetual grimace face going anyway.
I can't tell if his rotator cuff's hurting him or if that's just a look he has on his face.
I mean, I know he's not a big fan of the walk. But in that, everybody always thought Joe Randa was smiling, and that was just his look. You know,
Joker?
The Joker. I'm not sure if that's McLaren really reacting or that's just his game face. The old Bobby Knight game face. Saltalamacchia, his home runs as a Ranger, they've all been left-handed so far. We'll show you one of them from last night. That gives him 5 in 6 games. Out in front right there. In the American League, nobody's hit more than Saltalamacchia the last week and a half. There are 2 guys in the National League that, like Salty, have hit 5 homers in their last 6 games. One of them is Albert Pujols. The other's a guy that went the other way in the deal that got salty here, Mark Teixeira. He's only been here 3.5 weeks, but they love him already. A lot easier to write salty on a sign, too, than Saltalamacchia.
You need some help. You need a few more people with signs to put Saltalamacchia together.
Off of the third baseman, Beltre. He recovers and fires and got his man.
That's too bad. He hit that ball hard. Beltre, with his strong arm, didn't have to make it cleanly to have a chance to get him. Just had to stay with it. Come up firing.
Interesting here, Tom. Murphy, who had the 2-run homer last time up, has been called back. You got the lefty Sherrill on the mound. The Rangers have guys like Cruz and Sosa, Gerald Laird available.
Now, you've already said why he's being called back, because of what lefties have hit against Sherrill this year. That's one where a manager looks at that and says, okay, I'm going with a right-hand hitter.
Now you're forcing McLaren now to get Sherrill out of the ball game. Is that Morrow that's been warming up? I believe it is, the righty out there for Seattle. So Ron Washington says it will be either Cruz or even somebody else now. You can always pinch hit for the pinch hitter against Brandon Morrow. In a 3-2 game, bottom of the 7th. We'll come right back in just a moment here on FSN Southwest. Games we've been talking about tomorrow's matchup, Horacio Ramirez and Jamie Wright. Sunday night, 7:35 first pitch, and the White Sox come in Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And we get you from tomorrow to Morrow. Brandon Morrow's on the mound. Has not allowed a run in his last 14 outings, Mr. Grieve. He has struck out, well, let's see here, 14 in his last 9 innings. 23 in his last 15 innings, so things going pretty well for him.
Yeah, earlier in the year he had a stretch of 18 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings. Well, he's put together a couple of nice streaks together. Kid who was a high number 1 draft choice, got to the big leagues almost immediately. Was a closer in college. Seattle drafted him thinking that it translated very well as far as closer in college, closer in big leagues, not much time in the minor leagues. And I'm sure he's being groomed for a possible closer of the future if the opportunity opens up. Right now he's an excellent setup guy.
Cruz pinch hitting for Murphy, and basically what it comes down to is that Ron Washington would rather have Cruz versus Morrow than Murphy versus Sherrill. Tough act to follow for Nelson Cruz, though. Murphy, remember, homered in the 5th inning. Fouled back to the net. That Murphy home run of which we speak, or energy to take you anywhere, brought to you by Valero. Just got it over. For his second career Major League home run. Another foul by Cruz, who does not get cheated on those swings up there. Swings and grounds it to short. Betancourt to Sexton, and the Rangers had a 1-out walk but can't get him around. We're at the end of 7. Seattle leading 3-2. Fan Monique Lux of Arlington. She looks surprised that we've chosen her. For your chance to win 2008 season tickets, visit DependableFan.com. Tell us why you deserve to be Chevy's most dependable fan. Got a crowd of close to 33,000 Ranger fans here tonight. Hope you're making plans to come join us tomorrow, 7:35 first pitch. The Mercy Me concert before the game. Seattle's leading 3-2. And the dangerous Raul Ibanez. Not looking quite so dangerous on that swing. 0-1. Millwood, who remembers pitched 8 innings only once this year, Tom. He's certainly bidding to do that tonight. Nobody warming in the bullpen right now.
Seattle's made a lot of quick outs. Kevin has not walked a batter. His last start against Minnesota, he walked 5. No walks. Swings early in the bat by Seattle. At bats for Seattle. Put a lot of balls in play quickly. Kept the pitch count down. He should be able to get through 8 innings as long as he pitches well here in the 8th inning pretty easily.
Five walks last time, but no walks tonight. And Ibanez pounds it to first. Wilkerson.
He just hits the ball hard every single time up.
First time they've retired him tonight, but yeah, that ball was hit right on the button.
Fortunately, hit it right at somebody. Kevin tossed him up a curveball just to give him something different to look at, and he waited on it and ripped it.
Another guy's been hitting the ball well of late. Beltre coming up. Now the Rangers only 3 hits tonight, but fortunately 2 of them were back-to-back in the 5th. The bloop and the blast, as you described it. Saltalamacchia, then Murphy. The only other hit tonight was to lead off the night for the Rangers, Catalanato. That one's down too low, and we should point out that it is Nelson Cruz staying in the game, playing right field. He had to come on for David Murphy. And Cruz battled to Brandon Morrow, who had come on expressly to face Cruz. But Nelly rolling out to short. That ball smacked into left field. Base hit for Beltre on 2-0, and Catalanotto had it skid by him. Well, Beltre ends up at second base. That's going to be a double, the second one tonight for Beltre. That ball got on Catalanotto pretty quick.
Yeah, it's tough to pitch to Seattle right now with it when they've got so many guys swinging the bat so well. Beltre in his last 180 at bats hitting .320. Taking good swings at it too. A couple of doubles in the game for Beltre. The one he hit in the first inning was hit hard too. Beltre knocked in 30 runs in July, led the major leagues in runs batted in July.
Sexton challenged by the Millwood fastball, and it's Millwood 1, Sexton nothing. Sexton's batting average now down to .209. And again, Millwood's ahead of somebody. It is 0-2. For the first time tonight, the Rangers will get some action behind Millwood out there in the bullpen. Kevin at 91 pitches now, but boy, you love that balls to strikes ratio, don't you? High pop up by Sexton. Still 0-2. It is Frankie Francisco in the Ranger bullpen. Boy, according to what we've got on the computer here, Tom, they're still waiting out the rain delay in Detroit. They must really want to play that game. The Yankees and Tigers tonight. Boston in the process of sweeping the White Sox.
I don't know if the Tigers have any other doubleheaders, but they've got one coming up in September against the Rangers.
Day-nighter on September 11th. The Rangers' next road trip is their shortest road trip of the year. They got 3 games in Anaheim after the White Sox are playing here next week. Runner going second to third, and Sexton loops it to right. Beltre's got to hustle back towards second base. And is he there in time? No, he's out. The double play. And Millwood is off the mound and out of the inning. It stays 3-2 with the Rangers coming up. The website Wednesdays, you can order half-price tickets online for the White Sox game this coming Wednesday. Tickets available in a variety of seating areas. Check it out at TexasRangers.com. Chris Childs watching the game, one of our camera folks. Not working the proceedings tonight.
He's acting very irritated. Get off me, he's saying. Watch the game.
Nothing to see here. Adam Jones, though, we can check him out in left field. He's in for Raul Ibanez. Rangers batting bottom 8, trailing 3-2. Travis Metcalf with a foul. Another one into the crowd of 32,000, 716 tonight. Angels and the Blue Jays are underway. 2-0 Angels already. Metcalf hoists another one into the crowd. Again, the Angels and the Mariners tied in the loss column coming in tonight. Cleveland's up 3 in the loss column over Detroit in action tonight over in the Central. Boston up 5 on the Yankees in the East. Metcalf in the left.
A lot of good swings at 96-mile-an-hour fastballs right there. He fouled 3 straight off. Morrow threw him another one. Every one of them was 96 miles an hour, and Travis ripped that ball into left field. Too bad he didn't get it up the air a little bit. Nice swing.
Frank Catalanato to the plate. He's been the hottest Ranger hitter over the last 4 weeks. He's showing bunt, gets it down. Thought about second, but instead it's whipped on to first. So the Rangers looking to tie it here in the bottom of the 8th inning. They've got Kinsler and Young coming up. Give both of those guys a chance to tie it up with a base hit. They're talking about the playoff races, Tom, in the American League. Jack in the Box brings them into focus for you. Again, the Mariners still have a couple games to make up on the Angels. Well, the thing about Morrow is that even if you include that base hit by Metcalf, the Rangers, I mean, up and down the bench, whoever you want to talk about, guys that are actually on the team right now, they are 4 for 32 lifetime against Morrow, with all 4 hits being singles. Getting away from Jojima, the tying man's at third.
Jojima almost made a spectacular save on that wild pitch. Practically dove out of his crouch to try to catch that ball that just sailed way out of the strike zone. Seattle played the infield in right here to try to keep the game from being tied. Good spot for Kinsler ahead in the count, no balls and 2 strikes.
Infield in, Kinsler blasting it into the crowd. Takes it down too low. Michael Young on deck. Well, do they try him out? Two good arms out there. Ichiro's being one of them, and Ichiro fires in. No, you're not going to try him out. Metcalf goes back to third.
If he didn't cut that ball, it would have been a perfect throw right on the base. We're in perfect alignment to see that. And Ichiro threw a strike right straight to the cutoff man. And if Sexton needed to let it go because there was a play at the plate, there's no doubt where the throw would have ended up. Too shallow to send the runner when a guy throws like Ichiro. Or Guillen, for that matter. Guillen's got an excellent arm in right field, too.
Now, in the ninth inning, you got to deal with J.J. Putz, who's been the almost perfect closer. So here's maybe your best chance. You got a runner at third, 2 out. And your best hitter at the plate, Michael Young. He's going to take inside. And Michael to right center field. It hangs in the air and is caught by Guillen. And the Rangers had that leadoff base runner, but they couldn't get him around and in. We're at the end of 8. 3-2 Seattle. Comes up with some really wacky music. Introducing the incredible new series that analyzes sports like you've never seen before. Don't miss the groundbreaking season premiere of Sports Science. September 30th at 9 p.m. on FSN Southwest. Now the Rangers with Kevin Millwood still out there on the mound. And this is kind of new territory for him this year, Tommy. He has not pitched into the ninth inning yet until tonight.
He's still under 100 pitches. He's only thrown 96 pitches.
To right field, and there's Cruz. He's got it. But, I mean, it's 2 starts in a row where you're saying, all right, Millwood did exactly what the Rangers are paying him to do. Keep him in ball games, pitch deep into the ball game. His most taxing inning was the first inning. Not that that was even that taxing, but problem is these last 2 starts where you're kind of applauding Kevin Millwood for getting back to all this. Well, he's been matched up against Johan Santana and Felix Hernandez. There's a strike on the inside edge to Lopez. Right around this time last year, Kevin Millwood's last complete game. The the Rangers had that great chance in the bottom of the 8th with a leadoff single from Metcalf. Now you know you're going to get J.J. Putz in the 9th. Fouled back this way. I'm talking about J.J. Putz. Nobody's got more saves in the American League this year.
Well, Rangers, when Putz comes into the game, will have seen 3 right-handers that throw all of them in the mid-90s to slightly higher. Hernandez early in the game was 97 to 99 frequently. Morrow 94 to 96, and Putz about the same thing, occasionally 97 or 98 for him too. Sherrill, a real tough lefty. He throws hard, but not that hard. Not in that same category. Against the right-handers, you better tune it up a notch.
I tried that curveball. And the count 3-2 to a guy who was an all-star last year, Jose Lopez. Millwood's 5th start this year against Seattle. And this has pretty much been his best. That ball heading towards the crowd. Well, the Mariners came in 1 game back in the West, 2 games up in the wild card. John McLaren having taken over for Mike Hargrove, and still a lot of people, I think, Tom, that are confused somehow by Grover walking away. But Grover, as always, a very plain speaker. He said, I just thought it was time. Don't read anything more into it than that.
If there's something else to it, I don't think anybody knows about it, and Mike will never say.
Busted bat, and the ball going to end up back in the crowd. The bat ended up past Travis Metcalf.
But I think people that know Mike well, guys that have played with him, will say that if that's what Mike said, then that's good enough for them. That's the way it is. And it doesn't make sense to some people. Don't understand why you wouldn't want to be a big league manager, especially in the middle of an 8-game winning streak. But until you've done it for as long as Mike has done it, you don't really know what a big league manager is feeling. The pressure you're under, the time away from your family. And Mike just reached the point where he'd had enough and didn't want to go through the motions, and made a decision at a time when most people wouldn't understand it, but it made perfect sense to him and his family.
That ball shot into center field, a base hit for Lopez. And Betancourt, a guy that Millwood has handled tonight, mostly with the high cheese. Let's see if they leave Millwood out there to face him here. He's been getting ground balls from Betancourt all night. And ground ball here, you got the possibility of turning 2, getting on in the bottom of the 9th inning. Not a grounder, a little blooper. Cruz coming. Diving, he got it! Getting up, firing. Safe.
Great play by Nelly in right field. He made a lot of plays like that this year. He plays a very aggressive right field. That ball gets by him, it's a triple and a run scored. But you don't want it to fall in front of you either and get a chance for a rally and runs when you're down by a run late in the game. So he challenged that ball, made a beautiful play. Almost turned it into a double play. But Tim Cheever, the home plate umpire, sprinted down, had a great look at this play. And he called him safe at first base. Good call. Beautiful play by Nelly, though, out in right field. It'd be something to come into a game late and end up turning 2 line drives into two fly balls into double plays in 2 innings.
Yeah.
Back-to-back innings.
Mark Connor out to the mound, talked to Millwood. And the Rangers happy to leave Millwood out there to try to get through 9. Something he has not done this year. And the Rangers in the bottom of the ninth will have a Bird, Wilkerson, and Botts. Strike one to Ichiro at 92. Has been pretty consistent with 92 the last couple innings.
And Kevin stayed strong the whole game. Still hasn't walked a batter. That move to the first base side of the rubber continues to look like it's the right thing for Kevin.
Up and outside to Ichiro. You got Vidro on deck. It's an 11 hitter for Millwood tonight. But you talk about scattering those hits. Fouled. And Millwood now a strike away from getting through 9. Being the pitcher of record if indeed the Rangers can come from behind and win it in walk-off style tonight. Ichiro, a little tapper. Michael Young will try it out, but there's another infield hit for Ichiro.
That's why he wins batting championships, why he gets 230 hits. 45 infield hits for him now. Last 2 times up have both been infield hits.
That's what he does. He just kind of slaps the ball to the left side of the infield, and
well, he knows if he can do that, he's going to get a base hit, so he's not afraid to swing at this kind of a pitch and just kind of wave at it. If he hits the ball and puts it in play, he's going to get a base hit. He knows he can't hit that ball hard enough for anybody to have time to get him.
Vidro is 0 for 4. He's going to take a strike that hugs that outside corner. Pegged in a right base hit. Nelson Cruz going to come up firing yet again. No, he dropped the ball. Dropped it twice.
That's too bad because that ball got to him in a hurry and he had a great chance to throw Lopez out at the plate.
Yep.
Carlos Garcia was going to wave him home anyway. And Nelly's got a very strong arm from right field. If he made an accurate throw, he had a great chance to get him. Unfortunately, the ball slipped out of his hand, and that won't be an error because he didn't get the guy at the plate. It'll probably be an error because he allowed the guy to go from second to third.
Well, Millwood pitches a season high 8 2/3 innings tonight. And though he gave up 13 hits, and because he toughed it out on a warm night, kept the team in the ball game. He gets a nice ovation as he leaves. It's 4-2 Seattle. And Ichiro again in the middle of everything, Tom. The guy that just hits a little 5-hopper to the left side of the infield, beats it out, keeps the inning going. Vidro comes up with the RBI hit that chases Millwood from the game, and here's Frank Francisco.
Frankie, his last outing didn't go real well for him. He threw a lot of pitches, very deliberate. He's got a tough part of the order right here. Guillen's been swinging the bat well, has a couple hits tonight. Ibanez is out of the game. Jones is in for him. He's batting next.
Again with the home run in the first inning, RBI single in the 7th inning that broke open a 2-2 game at the time. He's not liking his batting helmet very much here.
Got sand caught in it, I think. Every time he puts it on, the sand is rubbing between the band and the helmet and his forehead.
Oh, you got to play hurt. Going to take the fastball on the inside corner. Again, the Rangers in the bottom of the 9th will have a Bird, Wilkerson, and Botts. And J.J. Putt's getting ready out there still. Popped up back towards the crowd. Remember, the Rangers were almost out of this inning when Nelly Cruz made that diving catch to Rob Betancourt. Very close play at first base. Jose Lopez getting back in time. And Tom, I don't know if you remember Lopez earlier this year. He was actually caught off at first base to end the game on a double play. That would have simply ended the inning. Well, not the game, but I'm sure Lopez is thinking, man, I really better get back here. 1-2 the count to Guillen. On the scoreboard, the Cubs lead at Arizona 2-1. But Micah Owings has hit another home run.
Oh, what a game he had the other day.
He's a pitcher. He's now got 4 home runs.
Hit 2 in the same game. How many runs did he knock in that game?
I think it was 6.
Yeah.
He won 440 feet in that game. Something like the 4th longest home run in the history of that ballpark. He's the pitcher.
Well, if he can't pitch, he can do what Rick Ankiel did. Make him an outfielder. He was a pretty good hitter in college.
Well, Francisco taking a long time to figure out what to throw here on 1-2. Brewers are trailing at San Francisco 6-4 in the 2nd inning. And again, the Cubs are leading. Cardinals getting trounced by Atlanta 7-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. 2 on, 2 out. And a long top of the 9th inning. Whoa, Frankie Francisco thought he had it. Didn't get it. 3-2.
You could tell Saltalamacchia thought it was a strike the way he held the ball there, as if to say, get a good look at it. Want to make sure the umpire saw it, but our tracker shows a little bit outside.
Runner will go from first. Now he just blows him away. Rangers will need 2 to tie, 3 to win in the bottom of the 9th inning. Texas Ranger Baseball brought to you by Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the Rangers. Visit southwest.com. By Progressive. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. And by your Texas Ford dealers. Bold moves. Ford is the best in Texas. Here's a guy who saved 36 out of 38, but one of the blown save opportunities was right here at this ballpark. That is J.J. Putz. 12 walks, 65 strikeouts.
On that play, Josh, that Nelly dropped the ball, there was no error given. It was ruled a no play.
That's good.
I said that the error allowed the guy to go to third, but you can't assume that he was going to be thrown out at the plate. It was obvious he was going to throw it home, and if he did, the guy would have gone to third base anyway.
Well, the Mariners adding that insurance run in the ninth. 3 singles. Millwood pitching as deep into a ball game as he has all year tonight. 8 2/3. Bird with a grounder to short. Out number 1. Now, Felix Hernandez pitched for 6 innings. And then the Mariners put a run up there on the top of the scoreboard in the top of the 7th inning. So Hernandez is on line to go to 10-6. It'll be a tough loss for Kevin Millwood to drop to 8-11 if the Rangers can't rally. Brad Wilkerson had the 4-hit night last night, looking for his first hit tonight. J.J. Putz, a guy that's always thrown hard, and a couple of years ago learned a new grip for the split finger pitch from Eddie Guardado. And things really accelerated for Putz at that point.
There's been a few guys that were mid-90s flamethrowers and became excellent pitchers after they learned a splitter. Dave Stewart was a perfect example. Started to learn the splitter from Tom House here, perfected it under Dave Duncan in Oakland, then won 20 games 4 years in a row. Another Ranger pitcher that did the same thing was Tom Henke, mid-90s guy with a hard slider that was an average pitcher, but once he learned the splitter, he became one of the elite closers, probably a lot like Putz.
Wilkerson is out. I guess Astros fans too will remember Mike Scott adding that pitch. Jason Bott's coming up right now with 2 out. Reminder that Rangers Live is set to follow us. John Radigan, Mark McLemore, the smiling tandem. Hi, fellas.
How are you?
Max, one of Mac's former teams, the Seattle Mariners.
Oh, he's got lots of interesting nuggets about this team.
Just a few. A few.
For the airwaves or behind the scenes kind of stuff?
Definitely behind the scenes.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Kind of tease everybody with that, but no one's ever going to know what they are.
There you go.
That's okay.
Not unless we go pay-per-view. Thank you, guys.
All right, we'll see you.
All right, talk to you soon. Hopefully not too soon. Rangers trying to rally here.
It's probably what they've been doing, watching the game, and Mac's been telling Mariners stories to John the whole way. John's dying to share a few with the fans, but not going to be able to do it.
Well, the Rangers, who had 50 hits in their last 3 ball games, held to 4 tonight. That's Bop's foul by Botts. And Putz now a strike away from sealing it for Seattle. The Mariners will be a half a game out in the AL West. Now one drifting outside. Again, the same 2 teams have at it tomorrow. 7:35 first pitch. Sunday, same thing, 7:35. Day off Monday, then the White Sox are in town starting Tuesday. Botts twisted up in the air. Everybody running. And the Rangers are still alive. Beltre and Betancourt both over there.
Beltre banged into the wall after he caught this ball.
Got a shoulder blade. Beltre's had a hand in it offensively tonight with a couple of doubles. The Mariners hold up 13 hits tonight, getting single runs in the first, second, seventh, and ninth. Two out pitch. And Bott still hanging around. Rangers got the 2-run homer from David Murphy tonight, accounting for the scoring back in the 5th inning. Got a hit from Saltalamacchia, got a hit from Catalanato, one from Travis Metcalf. One thing we always say about Botts is how he's able to work that count. Woods had not thrown a ball to either Bird or Wilkerson, but he's thrown 3 of them here to Jason Botts. On the ground to short. And Seattle with a 4-2 win tonight here in Arlington. Jose Guillen had a big part in this one. Had the home run back in the 1st inning. Was on base 3 times, had a couple of hits, couple of runs batted in. And he is your Gatorade player of the game. So Seattle takes the first 2 of this series. Rangers still have a chance to split the series. Saturday night game and Sunday night game, as the Rangers and Mariners get it together over the weekend. For Tom Grieve and Jim Knox, Josh Lewin inviting you to join us tomorrow at 7:30 on my 27th. Our next FSN Southwest game will be Wednesday when the White Sox are in town. Now stay tuned. Rangers live postgame coverage coming up right here on FSN Southwest.